So, everybody, to save us the full recap, we are 9 sessions into this, by the way. This is the 9th episode of the Extinction Curse. It does not feel like this has been going for that long, but it has been a ride all the way through. And to short, there's a point where I'm going to have to stop summarizing the entire adventure at the start of every episode. I think that's now. Suffice it to say, though, that our performers, our headliners, our star actors here with the Circus of Wayward Wonders have found themselves following up an entirely new task. Having headed outside of the humble town of Aberton to a druidic hermitage, the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning, on the coast, where both the wind and the waves are ever present. And so, too, it seems, is some kind of terrible corruption. Things are wrong here. That much we have established. But as we work our way in, and we have saved the mayor of the town from his imprisonment already, and been forced to slay, well, already an unpleasant number of these local druids who, according to the mayor, were just the friendliest people that exist prior to very recently. We left off in this hallway, just past the first chambers of the Hermitage, past the guest rooms, past the waiting areas, and in a connection that heads into the Hermitage proper, nestled inside the cliffs itself. Here, this hallway now strewn with blood from several more of these retainers that have attacked us. There are several paths. We have a doorway to the north, which is obliterated, because Lizardman cannonballed through it with his face when they tried to nail boards over it to lock you down there when you went to investigate. Ostensibly, that leads to the crypts, where the Druids' dead are interred generations, and according to them, in what seemed to be at least a partially believable story, it's overrun with undead. To the left, you have a much larger door. Something wrought of intricate stone, with no real visible handle or knob or anything, just 2 massive slabs together, and 1 more simple wooden door on the south that I don't believe anyone has touched. Now, the aftermath of the previous battle, when we saved the nice frog-shaped friend and coerced him outside with the offer to feed him the bodies of the retainers we had just defeated. Circle of life, I think, was the justification we're going with here.
Nailed it.
You had made your way back into this chamber. Lizard Man looking a fair bit injured from the tridents of some of these retainers you've had to fight so far. The rest of you, doing largely okay. And it's here we begin. And before we do, I have one question to ask of Arbus, actually. Because we are getting into our first big, proper, ye olden dungeon crawl of the campaign here, have you been keeping track of who you have treated? Because the grace period, the 1 hour cooldown almost on treat wounds, is almost guaranteed to become relevant.
I have my battle medicine recorded. I know I did sell one. As far as the treat, though, I
believe you have treated everybody but Ara at this point.
Okay.
So while Lizardman is injured, you would not be able to tend to him with medicine unless you were to wait some time here. His wounds now a bit more severe and stacked on those from the previous battle, not something you can quickly rectify in 10 minutes. But party, show is yours. What are we doing?
Well, if Zig didn't eat all his bed meat, he wouldn't be stuck on the toilet all day.
Which, by the way, we have a perfectly fantastic place to go ahead and leave him. to explain this story because, yes, perhaps he should not have eaten the meat that he's kept in his chainmail leotard for several days. Fortunately, the southern door here appears to lead to a bathroom, where Zerg abruptly, unceremoniously rushed past whoever opened that door, slammed the door shut behind him, and that is the last we will see of him for some time.
Oh no. I'll knock on the door and say, "Sir, are you okay in there?"
Muffled grunts.
Yeah, it is not a voice that responds, but sounds that should not be repeated in pleasant company.
Go back and find some papers in one of the rooms and leave it by the door.
No.
There's a shortage, you know.
Well, what's up with these doors that don't have handles? Like, do they not understand how doors work?
I'm not a fan of doors either, now that you mention it.
Yeah, these ones, I don't know how smart these people are in this place. They seem rather dim-witted, I would say, coming from an expert. I'm pretty sure all doors are supposed to have handles.
Not the ones you push.
You could still have a handle on it.
Well, Lizard, there's a perfectly good explanation for that.
And what is that?
Well, you see, here they do not, everything's gone tits up, right?
Right.
So they don't have a handle on the situation, and that's why.
I don't get what you mean.
Well, see, like a handle on a door, but also in the transient sense.
I get it, Selwyn. It's okay. They don't have to get it.
That's wait. How do you get
Why
it?
wouldn't there be a door handle though? Because, like, how are we supposed to get in here? How did they do this before there was, like, all those problems?
Did you try pushing?
Push, push, push.
And
We'll
are you trying pushing?
Yes.
As you push, the door swings easily open.
It doesn't have handles.
Of course it does.
The hinges of these massive stone figures, surprisingly well kept. The doors themselves still fairly heavy, so it takes a little bit of effort
I
to
would
push them in,
probably fall through them in surprise.
but as you lay yourself into this, them taking much less effort than you would have anticipated, as the doors just swing open and Lizard Man tumbles through them onto the floor beyond. Over his body, you see a sight I'm sure nobody wanted to see again.
Oh no.
One of the worm demons
Hey,
No.
from the graveyard. This
So
one,
Yes.
not making any attempts to hide, just laying bare in the center of an incredible chamber. Unlike absolutely anything you would have seen before. It manages for a moment to capture your attention away from the worm beast in the center of the room that turns its gaping toothed maw towards the door as Lizardman literally falls through it. But this gallery glows with light. From magical spheres of colored energy set into 8 twisting pillars throughout the room, stretching from the floor all the way to the ceiling 20 feet above. A ceiling depicting a cloudy, storm-tossed sky with incredible realism. The floor covered with mosaic tiles portraying the depths of the ocean, with coral reefs, beds of seaweed, schools of fish portrayed throughout, even this massive purplish manta ray near the center of the room. There's several corridors leading to the north and south, but at the far end of the room, a massive bronze double door, sculpted in an amazing diorama of animals of all kinds. Fish swimming the sea at the bottom, beasts walking the earth, and birds soaring the sky above. The room is incredible, but you only have a moment really to look it over and take it in as this worm beast turns to you. And one of the druids, this one dressed somewhat differently from the ones you've battled before, bearing no armor, much lighter armor, simple leather with gray robes drawn around it, and no shield. a wooden religious symbol of Gazra, prominently displayed, hanging out around her neck. But it seems to be modified, defaced even, carved with sigils, angular demonic runes all across it. And as the door opens, both the druid and the worm thing turn to you, and this is all in a moment. Realizing you are not part of them and certainly should not be here, the worm lunges forth immediately, as after a moment of reaction, the druid begins to incant a spell. And we are going to immediately fall through this door to initiative, my friends.
Whoopsie poopsies.
Couldn't even wait to get fixed up. We're just falling through doors.
Can I get one quip in before the combat starts?
Yeah, of course.
Hey guys, do you want to convert to Apadar?
Jesus.
No one else wants to roll for initiative.
Oh no.
Roll me your initiatives, kids.
I don't-
You can't just
Alright.
not roll. It doesn't save you from what's coming.
What if it did?
What if it did? Oh, you see, I'm not into combat if I don't roll initiative.
That's true.
No, your
Beat the
initiative's
system.
just one.
Oh, well, darn.
This isn't what I wanted at all.
What a wavelength.
Share. It's my turn to use the brain.
We call it synapse in other terminology.
Arabus, as this door opens, regardless of this splendor before you, your gaze is drawn immediately to the symbol, defaced with these demonic sigils, that this druid now bears. It spurs something inside you. You are the first to act here.
You have defaced the symbol of the Storm Lord. And I'm on a Tempest Surger immediately.
What is this? Bam!
Yep.
And we have learned a thing that we were in fact doing wrong here.
Yeah.
And with your blast of lightning, they do in fact get a saving throw against this. We have misread the spell time and time again as we went to look. And thanks to whoever corrected us in the comments of the YouTube version of last week's video, it is a basic saving throw. And basic means something. It doesn't just mean it's a normal reflex save. It means that the saving throw is for half damage. Or double if they critically fail. So this is at the priest, correct? The druid?
Oh, absolutely.
I
Right
kinda
at
figured.
her face.
And as she turns, not quite the fastest on her toes, she's going to be a 15 for the reflex save.
That's a fail.
Alrighty. So she's going to take 15 damage,
Correct.
Holy moly.
and she takes persistent damage, and also is now clumsy as well. A whole bunch of things happening here. Gotta find me a good clumsy icon. Come back to me on that one. We'll just go with this for now. As this lightning blasts through her, she drops a small vial that she had in her hand. Vial of a bright metal, almost silver looking. Still stoppered. It clatters across the floor, seemingly undamaged.
And I will step up behind Selwyn. And that's me.
Alright, Blizzard Man on the floor.
How tall are the ceilings in this room?
20 feet. They are lofty. As this
Oh.
goes inside the cliffside itself, they have carved out a massive space to use.
Perfect. Good luck, guys. I'm gonna stand up and start climbing this pillar column thing.
The pillar is very intricately carved, which fortunately makes it fairly easy to climb. So, give me an athletics check.
Okie dokie. Athletics of 23.
23 is going to critically succeed. So what's your land speed? 25?
30. I have fleet.
Ooh, 30. All right, so that is still going to get you 10 feet up the pole. So 10 feet up, out of reach of most people on the ground. Not going to make the same mistake we made before.
And then
At
I'm
least you have
going
an
to
action left still.
get my Atlas out.
So you're clinging to this thing 10 feet up off the ground and pull out this little stick on a string, and we'll see how this goes.
Like the biggest scaredy cat like lizard scuttle up this wall.
That's awesome.
And from his position of safety, up on the pillar, the priest turns, looks for a moment, sees everything happening out here, sees Selwyn's small frame in the doorway, and clearly several others beyond. I mean, you're all clearly visible here. And she gets jolted for a moment by this lightning before she goes back to her incantation. Okore, Elementis! And draws it together in an elaborate motion that's going to take her entire turn. But at the end of it, surging up seemingly from the ground itself, a small water elemental emerges from the tile amongst all of you around this corner. Ara.
Well, Selwyn, what is that thing? Looks like a giant worm.
It's evil. Kill it with fire.
Cool. 10. I'm gonna
Get
5.
it very
10, 15.
fast.
I'm actually gonna.
Oh,
I've
I
never
gotta roll
seen
for
this before.
persistent damage too.
Yep.
Ah, no.
Ooh.
Which is still taking.
I run up, push past Selwyn, and then I put my hands together and I cast Burning Hands at level 2.
As
Oh,
you
God.
launch out a
Wow.
surge of fire.
Fearless. Does not know the fear.
Does not go by the undaunted for no reason.
I need to roll 2 extra d6 on top of that.
Alrighty, so the priest involved in her own conjurations is going to get a 10 on her reflex save.
Okay. Shit's a fail.
And the worm, just kind of watching you run up and do this, much more steady, is going to get a 21.
That's a success.
Okay.
It's a total of 18 damage, fire damage.
There's 18 damage, surges across the druid, 9 to the worm monster. The druid doesn't seem particularly hardy. That's about all she can take, and she's already nearing her edge as she stumbles back from the twin blasts of fire and lightning from the pair of you. Selwyn.
Well, there's another worm. I'm not pleased. I would like to cast Electric Arc on these two at the end, next to Aura.
All right. We'll roll some more reflex saves.
Yeah, keep rolling those reflex saves.
Ooh, lady is going to get a 6. This clumsy is doing work here.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
is
total-
a critical failure.
Yeah, she is going to critically fail as she is reeling from the previous hits, while the worm beast gonna do much better with a 14,
Also a failure.
but he can only dodge so much magic at once.
For a whopping 11 damage.
Ow.
22
So
on
yeah, a
the...
blast of
Wow, 2
22 through the druid is absolutely going to launch her backward, her burnt corpse smoldering on the ground, while the worm is going to take, of course, that full 11.
and I'll use this momentum to give a mean glare at the worm. You say, "You're next." For 26.
Intimidate.
No way.
Wow. Wow.
No way he's gonna do it. The absolute mad lad has done it. A 26. It's against the will DC, right?
I believe so.
That is a critical success.
Hell yeah.
The worm is terrified.
The hunter
Doesn't
becomes
know
the
what's
hunted.
coming. But it doesn't like it. After seeing all of this surging lightning, it understands enough to know that it does not have a great chance here. And it, frightened too. I need to double check real quick. The water elemental that has surged up here, receiving no commands with the druid dead, is simply going to flee, surging away from you, out towards the exit to the hermitage.
I'm getting out of here.
Go get him, frogs!
Whereas the worm itself coils itself almost a bit like a snake into a more defensive posture, greatly concerned about the tiny gnome in the doorway, but seeing that there is a lot of stuff it has to get through, it focuses and opens its flower-like maw to hiss out, "Nagans, ma'am!" And the wave of purple energy ripples out from it again.
This is what I didn't want.
And I'm going to need everybody to make me a fortitude save.
Don't know what's happening.
Don't harm me, bro. That's a 12.
Oof.
Kill me, bro.
Natural 20.
Of course Ari gets a natural 20! Of course he does!
Wow.
He doesn't know to be afraid
Wow,
of this stuff.
he's too small to
He
be
literally
undaunted.
doesn't understand
I'm
what's happening.
undaunted.
This
Wow.
wave of purple energy comes out, and Ara's completely unaffected by this. And Arabis is going to take, I can't believe you got a nat 20. Arabis is going to take half from this. Ara, you're going to
All right.
take absolutely nothing. But 17 damage is going to come rolling out in a wave across the party. And as you see it go backwards across the druid laying on the ground, you see her skin rot and dry and pull taut around her skull and her body, leaving her a desiccated corpse looking as if it had been there for weeks.
Oh, wow. Is that 17 the half?
17's the full.
Oh, okay.
So
take
you
eight.
take 8.
Okay.
Do I also take it? No.
You take
8.
17.
I take 17.
Lizard takes 17, someone takes 17, Arabis takes 8, Ara takes nothing.
I cry.
Arabis.
That was scary.
Did
So
you even
Grunt
notice?
taking that shot, I hurt a little bit. I notice the lizard up on the, still clinging to his pull, and he is not looking good after taking that blast. Now
He
I'll
probably
hold,
almost falls, I imagine.
hold my hand out, and lightning will start coursing around him, trying to stitch him back together as I heal him from a distance. That's okay. I'm just rolling. 8%. For 12 HP.
12 health with a first level heal. Leave you with 1 action.
I'm gonna move out of that thing's line of sight. Just over here.
Lizard Man!
Can I reach him from here? I'm 10 feet up.
So you are 10 feet up and like 15 feet away? Absolutely, yes. He's right at the
Okay.
edge of the range of your Aklis.
We're gonna see if I can trip this odd-looking fellow. I'm not sure if that's a thing we can do, but we're gonna try.
It is a worm laying on the ground.
Oh, I guess. Oh, well, I kind of thought it was kind of more like, I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll just whack it with the Aklis. Let's see here, with a 15.
With its frightened condition, and without a body to protect it, A 15 will succeed.
Aha. So he takes 10 bludgeoning, where it just kind of smooshes on top of him and kind of dents. It's kind of just like he's kind of a rubbery material, so it just kind of smooshes in. And then I start reeling back the Ackless. With one action, can I jump from this column to this action column?
Yes, it is going to be an athletics check. You have quick jump, so you don't take the penalty.
I have quick jump, yeah.
It is still an athletics check. You're jumping 10 feet, so it'd be DC 10.
Jumping pillar to pillar.
27.
27. You could jump to this pillar if you wanted to.
Perfect. It's a perfect pillar for me to be at. Although,
can
yeah, there we go.
sort of monkey your way across this, skipping 20 feet down the room to a pillar behind the creature, still 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Ara, he clearly cast a spell of some kind. You saw this wave of energy just pulse emanate out of him, but nothing seemed to happen. You're not sure why everyone's so concerned.
I'm not sure why everyone's so concerned. Well, anyways, in rebuttal to that, I start to do my own little bubbling and blabbering, drawing back in the. Sorry, I'm dying. Drawing back in the elixir of flame, their soul coming off of the burning hands, and I'm going to draw it all into my hand and reach out and touch a man with produce flame as a touch attack. With a 20 to hit.
20 is going to hit.
So it's 11 damage.
As you
11.
blast another surge of fire into this thing. You're starting to work away at it fairly well.
And since I'm standing here, I'm a little dumb. I want to try to do what Zerg does and carry the rest of my weight on through to him and just do an unarmed strike against him.
Get him, Clint! Use
Tiny stick fists! I
Wow.
love it!
So we're going to try this with a 24 minus the 4, so 20 to hit.
20 will hit!
I don't know why it says 13 damage, but...
Oh, like, I am certain you're not punching for 13.
I don't know
It's
why
because
it
you're
says
rolling 1d14, not 1d4, is the problem in your macro. So you want to just roll
Okay.
the actual damage real quick?
The 1d4? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those D14 dice are out.
Oh yeah, I wish I had those.
3.
3 damage!
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he takes 3 damage. You fall through the punch, and the heel fist connects. 3 non-lethal damage is 3 non-lethal damage.
So, am I doing good?
Selwyn,
up.
is he doing good?
You're doing great out there.
Can I like move the 15 feet up to Aura and like around the pillar, or do I have to go like the full way through like this?
The pillar doesn't take up an entire space. You can fit through between R and the
All
pillar.
right. Is it in the realm of possibility for me to go around to like the other side here? That's
With what movement?
30. It's gonna be
15,
coming closer.
20. I'm gonna say you
25,
just
30.
can't with 30.
All
So
right.
to get him behind him is 2.
Okay. In that case, I shall move to here, and I will twin faint, say a little prayer to Nivi, Pharasma, Iamada, anyone who will listen.
Please not again.
Realistically, just don't let me back to a worm.
You're just gonna ignore Gazra?
Of course.
Clearly,
That's,
prayers to Gazra aren't working great. Evidence in the building.
And that's going to be on a 20, so a 29.
Prayers answered. And natural 20 definitely will critically hit, my friend.
For 10 damage. Is that
And as
enough?
you bury one blade into him, it is not.
Alright, so I'll get the blade stuck. And I'll lead in with the sneak attack. See if I can give him the final whack. For a 16 minus 4, 12.
12 is just not going to do it.
Oof.
And this worm beast... Oh, it's still frightened until the end of his turn. This worm beast, now becoming surrounded, lashing out seemingly in combined fear and pain, writhing like a dying snake.
So you're meant to die from that first strike.
You're the one he's afraid of. He's still frightened because of you. He's gonna lash out with his first bite towards Selwyn. And this is going to be a 26 to hit.
That is a normal success.
And as he almost blindly just lashes forward, his mouth about as big as you are, you're almost kind of stunned this thing is still alive after all the damage it's taken.
I mean, almost.
And his jaws are going to close around you for 19 damage. The spiked tongue spearing in, pulling again almost these flower petals down, ripping across you as they close. And seeing how effective that was, he's just going to do it again. Trying to end it with an 18 to hit.
That is not
17.
going to do it. Neither of those are going to do it. So I get nibbled in the face really, really badly. It rears back, comes right back up, and I almost like tumble backwards as this like swoops over me like, ugh!
And as it turns, just trying to fight everyone away from it as it can't grab onto you again, it just takes one last-ditch effort, swinging wildly towards Ara with a 19 to hit.
Oh, it hits me.
Managing to almost just blindly swing its head around and club it across you. Not even biting down, just scraping these outer mandibles, these mouth parts across you as it swings. And you are going to take 8 damage from this reckless attack.
That's a good number.
I have to go take 19, man.
Because I rolled 2 8s.
Oh, God.
Okay, hearing all the combat
unfair.
and everything happening in the other room, I'm going to walk up here to the doorway and see that it is completely forgot about me out here. And as I come around into the door frame, I'm already holding like a bolt of lightning, and then I reach out and electric arc it from here. See if you can do something with that.
And surging out with his blast of lightning, the worm flailing wildly, only gonna get a 12 reflex save.
That is a fail.
And as your spell completes, Arbus, what happens?
Just as described, he's busy fighting everybody around him, not paying attention. As I come up into the doorway and hit his blind side with lightning, and he just cooked instantly. Charred.
On the final screech, the creature writhes, burnt, charred, shocked, twitches for a brief moment, and almost flips entirely over to lay dead on the ground.
I want it noted, when you guys look back at Ara, he has taken some of the leaves and has put them in like a mohawk over his head.
I'd climb down, be like, and the crowd goes wild, and I'll pick Ara up and like run around the room with Ara. Be
Throw my
like,
hands up in the air.
the strongest plant alive.
I am the strongest.
And as you pick him up and go to run around the room, as Selwyn is reeling here, Lizard Man's surprising surge of adrenaline perhaps allowing him to do this. You hear a sound, almost a humming
Hear
at
a
first,
sound.
that quickly grows to what could be described as cacophonous, overlapping sounds of animals, birds, what sounds like a deep bubbling or steaming even, coming from the western door, the massive brass double doorway leading even deeper into the hermitage. Now as you look towards it, you see the animals, the fish, the birds depicted on its surface move. The fish swim, the birds fly. And after a brief moment, all of them turn their heads to look out across the party simultaneously.
We're friendly, please.
A voice
Yeah.
emanates forth from the door. Corruption has shut this door, but that cannot keep us out. Cleanse these halls of the corrupted that infest it, and we open this door before you.
Could you heal me
You
first?
are truly chosen of the wind and the waves. Then you may enter. The voice seeming to flow line to line back and forth between a masculine and a feminine tone, almost seamlessly as it goes. Arbus, make me a religion check real quick.
$15.
As far as you can tell, through all of their depictions, through all of their holy texts and their doctrines, this voice sounds like the voice of Gazra himself.
I'm
a little
creepy.
straight white right now. Just
And as the voice stops, the animals turn back, move briefly and slow before the door resumes exactly the appearance it had beforehand.
Arbus. What was that? That was creepy.
That was pretty creepy.
Do God's doors do that normally?
I have waited my whole life for an answer.
Couldn't you tell your god to heal me?
I can.
The
Oh.
wind has brought me here for a reason.
Someone's just bleeding out on the floor over here.
And someone says heal me. Ara quickly perks up. I can do that.
Oh, anyone.
And he
That's like
starts.
fucking Rumagug at this point.
He starts incantating.
Incantating.
I think
I'm gonna make up words here.
Close.
Isn't it just incanting?
Incanterizing.
Incanterizing. Yeah. Anyways, he starts doing a little dance in the middle of the room, and cast heal as a second level spell, as the 3 action to get everyone in it.
2d8 health.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but
Building out
It's-
across the room.
I think everyone can use a little bit, right?
I can use more than a little.
Oh, I can't give you more than a little. As a
Give me more than a
Woo!
little.
13.
Please. Oh, that's pretty good.
2d8. Second level. Wow.
Health to everyone.
Very nice.
See, my issue here is like I want to try to conserve spell slots, but the sorcerer in me says just blast them, just get it
And
all out.
as this healing energy ripples out from Aura, what happens to the worm creature next to you looks almost the same as what had happened to the druid when the worm cast its spell. Its flesh shrivels, almost burning away. The worm itself shrinking entirely in mass, like a normal worm just left out on a hot sidewalk during the day. It burns, withering down into nearly nothing.
Sorry, Selwyn, that's the best I can do.
I need more.
I can treat 2 people right now if we have some time.
Oh, I need to heal myself.
We have nothing but time.
Oh boy.
I got harmed in a bad way. And not just by the spell.
I can't do lizard again though, because it's
You would need to wait you would need to basically spend an hour treating everybody, because they now have wounds on wounds on wounds. It's not something a quick bandage will really help with anymore. It's going to take you some time to sit down.
I mean, if you guys don't mind,
We close the doors, we barricade it, we sit here and we heal up, right?
The
Good
northern
plan.
and southern passageways simply lead off into the hermitage. There are no doors.
Oh,
Well, we could go back into the other room.
that is true. The one without the handles.
Also, not the one that Zeg's in because it's probably more
It probably
dangerous in there.
smells.
Yeah, man,
Hope Zog's okay.
probably not in good shape, but he'll be fine. So, what is this bottle on the floor? Can you check this out, Aura? Or Selwyn? Whoever wants to check it out.
So as you look down to see what it is that she had on her, what she was bringing, small vial is as simple as it looks and unlabeled.
Oh, the quickest way to find out is to drink it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, she
How
was
do you-
about to drink it, wasn't
How do
she?
you drink stuff?
Well, how do all plants drink stuff? You put it on the roots. Now, hold up a foot.
Oh. You know what? That's true, I guess. We're gonna ask.
So what's the plan? What are we doing?
I'm taking this defaced symbol off of this druid, and I'm just sort of staring at the door for a little bit. That's
You know
me.
I'm gonna actually come over here and start rummaging through the druid's stuff.
Her kit is very simple. She did have a trident that she bore in one hand. Simple leather armor under her gray robes. But other than this religious symbol, she doesn't seem to really be carrying anything on her. Other than whatever this strange vial was.
Or Arbus, are you sure that this is like real? Because if there were actually like god people hanging out around here, don't you think they would have done something maybe before now? Because it's all these people in their place, and like they probably, I don't know, it seems rather odd for them to just, I'm a door doing door things.
It was the Storm Lord. Whether
Why
you
didn't he
want
do
to
anything
believe
else?
it or
Why is he
not,
just-
that's why I'm here.
Oh, it's just like a
Apparently.
test. Are you being tested?
Could be. We could all be being tested right now. Even you.
I don't do good on tests.
Yeah, I'm not very good. I don't know. Well, I mean, if you really think this is Stormlord,
Belief is not a prerequisite of conviction.
what? That was a lot of words, and I'm not sure if it meant a whole lot, but sure. I'm glad you think so.
So what's this way?
Heading towards the
Wait, are we
southern
moving it?
passageway, you can see a hallway that looks fairly plain, like you would find in any standard building. Doorways splitting off to the right and left. A torch set in a sconce at the far end of the hall, keeping the area illuminated before it bends away to the right, about 30 feet down.
Well, now we should get to a room where I can look at the wounded more.
Alright, we can go back. We could go to that room where the mayor was staying in. Or just in the back room is fine.
What do you think? You fighter, you know what the best place to go.
Oh, right. I'm very smart in this kind of stuff, for sure. Probably right here is fine.
I'm okay with this.
If anybody comes in, they'll see the dead stuff. Be like, no, we don't want to go over there. And then turn around and go the other way.
Can I close these doors?
You can, yes.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, as they were left alone behind you, they would have come to a close on their own, basically.
I'm the one
They are
coming that
heavy
way.
and naturally over time slowly swing back to their default closed position.
Panic doors. Best thing since sliced bread.
So
Well-
you all are going to rest here in the
I
deepest
don't like
part
going-
of the hermitage that we've been to.
Yes.
Well, we've already killed the stuff here, and someone walks in and sees the other dead stuff.
Wait, you know,
Lizard has good ideas.
we are forgetting something that just happened. No,
What?
that was the vision and stuff, the noises. At least I think it was. Right?
What?
I mean, I'm
All of the animals and stuff? Yeah, I mean, it was on the other side of the door.
I'm talking
so-
out loud here. Like, just trying to remember. There were noises. A cacophony was the word you used. Right?
The sounds of the animals on the door, yes.
Okay. And we're fine.
Okay, so we're gonna stay here, get healed up, and then go one of the directions. That's not that way, because that way is apparently godly.
Yeah, you can't tread where gods tread.
Apparently we're going to after we're like cleansed.
If you can't throw where God's trying, what is the trial of the Starstone?
Well, to be fair, most people who do the Trail of the Starstone do in fact die.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
even
but
know
not
what you
all of
just
them.
said.
Okay,
Um,
so how long do we have to wait around here? Did we get the...
So as you all settle around for Arubis to be able to treat Selwyn and Lizardman, who are both a bit injured, it's going to take her some time to tend to your wounds. You're going to be here for a little while. Ara, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'm helping.
Helping.
You
Is
can
the word.
assist.
No.
You all, where are you
Oh,
all?
okay.
So you all literally sitting in the center of this room, powwowing around the dead worm thing, which is now much
Hey.
smaller, just hanging out. This is
Triage station over here in the corner. How about that?
What is this? What is this on the wall in the top, in the north corner, where they're all at now, where everyone's at, where I'm at?
that is a door. That is a smaller, simpler door.
Okay.
Wooden door that does seem to lead out of the room. That is exactly right here behind the group of you.
You always want to, you know, do
As-
this stuff in front of a door.
As Arubis moves over to sit everyone down, let's resume some exploration mode here. Arubis is trying to treat everyone. She's focusing on her medicine right now. Lizardman, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna be kind of looking around. As we're sitting here, I'm just gonna be kind of studying the area and make sure there aren't any, like, secret holes that worms could slither out of or whatever.
So, you're gonna be seeking or scouting?
I'll just be seeking.
Okay. Looking around, seeing if there's anything of value or interest or danger or death. Selwyn?
I'm seeking. I want to see if there's anything around of interest,
You
of
guys are
value.
head
or
on
death.
swivel. Like, nah, not catching this today. Ara, how about you?
I'm fucking terrified.
I'm gonna stand watch.
Over come out of
Also-
the middle of the room to the northern and the southern hallways, just in case someone comes by. So, Lizard and Selwyn, why don't you both make me perception checks here as you head over to this northern door?
Right.
28. Beat
I see
that.
it. 19 on a die.
16.
Heh.
With a
Not a
28, I mean, Lizard, you're the closest to the door here, so realistically it makes sense. As you sit down, you just barely, through this a bit heavier wooden door that's leading out here. It is a little bit larger than the more standard simple ones leading throughout. And it's usually made of a finer wood. There's no embellishments across this like there are the stone or the brass double doors to the east and west of this chamber. It's just a bit of a better, fancier door. Behind it, you can hear what appears to be two voices. And they sound like they're arguing. But you can just barely hear them, much less make out what it is. They do sound like they are a good distance from the door.
There's people talking behind this door, but it seems to be further along. They're arguing about something, but they don't seem to be heading this direction, so I guess we just, like, do what we are doing.
Can you hear what they're arguing about?
Not really. Just kind of, like, mumbling.
Yeah, you can barely even make out that there are voices, because it sounds like it's like they're not right on the other side of the door. They're just that way, and again, it's a decent distance back.
I'll let you know if they start coming this way.
Right.
I got
So
really
as you
scared.
all sit down. Lizard man, little, I guess it's not really an ear, is it? It's just kind of the hole on the side of your head. Pressed up against the wooden door here, listening suspiciously as Selwyn's just looking all around the room, making sure no one is going to sneak in, as Ara kind of around the middle, poking around near the dead worm, looking up the north and south hallways to make sure everyone's safe. Suddenly, the two doors right next to you once again swing wide open. And behind them, a creature pushes in, falls flat on his face in the doorways as if he was expecting it to take much more force to get these things open.
Idiot.
But this creature here, while it looks human-shaped, has long, overgrown claws, a winding tongue snaking out of his mouth almost in confusion as he face plants on the ground, and two more behind him, each clad in what wouldn't even really pass as armor, so much as just ruined scraps of what was once clothing and simple traveling gear, are clearly undead. As startled to see you as you are to see them. We're gonna roll some initiative.
I was
Because I haven't really met an undead whose first reaction to surprise isn't to fight immediately.
I had a dream about this.
I dream the dream in tongue on mine.
Well, I had like serious deja vu as soon as everyone was sitting in that corner and he said, roll perception. I had a dream. I was like, this is not going to end well.
Well, thanks for saying something.
I was going to, but, you know,
Yeah,
everyone's
going
so
to,
into
and
it.
then, you know, now we go.
Yeah, now
It's meta knowledge, man. Meta knowledge.
You can't use IRL dreams to justify any character decisions.
That's,
Stop metagaming.
that's true. Is it
IRL
metagaming if it's
visions
a
of God.
dream?
Alright, one,
I don't.
2, 3.
I do not like the situation where
this
I've
is
been
real
put
bad.
to.
Ah, boy, it is real bad.
Oh, I didn't hit enter. I'm not smart. Alrighty. Selwyn, as is
God.
fitting, absolutely on alert here, is the first to react to what appears to be a corpse tumbling through the doorway.
Well, I'm going to attempt to stab it, and I imagine it's flat-footed before I go first.
It's also prone, so it's flat-footed anyway.
Oh, it fell flat. Well, I guess I'll
It
coup
did
de grace.
exactly what Lizard Man did through the door.
27.
Woohoo!
Okay, that's gonna critically hit.
Alright. So I used I put one sword away, so I just like wrap both handles of the other one, just stab down on the first one.
How much does that do?
22.
You execute him instantly, laying on the ground.
Nice!
Good girl.
No
Yep.
chances taken here.
Cows moo, eat, hey, I'm gonna run the fuck away. And see this, another undead. There's more of them.
There are at least 2 out that
And I'll-
door.
I'll
Also
put up
looking
my-
in confusion. Both kind of craning forward as if curious what was beyond this, like they're trying to get a sight. And then recoiling back as they see blood
Ugh.
spurt out of their companion.
I bet the blood's like purple.
Probably.
And I will put on a brave face, pretend like I'm not scared shitless of these creatures, and try to intimidate and Clara, this front one. For 28.
Oh my god.
Very
So-
brave,
Yeah, I mean,
friend.
you just eviscerated his friend, and as is fitting, that's gonna critically succeed. Undead, I do not believe are innately immune to fear in 2nd edition. Huge amount of subtype-based immunities got removed, and honestly, I am all for it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. He's not mindless. He's scared. Lizard man.
So the door is still kind of propped open on this body on the floor.
Well, he fell through. The doors are still wide open. They don't close quickly. They're not like saloon doors. They don't flap shut immediately.
Okay.
It's their weight slowly brings them, probably over the course of like 2 or 3 rounds, back closed.
Gotcha. I'm going to step forward right on the back side of the door and wait for someone to walk in so I can just slash at them.
All right, so you're gonna ready an attack?
Yep.
Okie dokie. I believe we've covered this, but just as a reminder, in second edition, use 2 actions to give yourself the ability to do 1 action as a reaction. So you now have the ability to just attack as a reaction.
I guess that's right. Just attack of opportunity.
Pretty much, yeah. But even if he were to step up to you, you could still do it because it doesn't need to be provoked. It's just you can attack as a reaction.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. That's fine.
Okay. Arbus.
So I was working on the lizard, and all that just happened. He jumped in front of me at the door. I want to keep working on him now as he switched positions, only at a faster pace. And now that I'm trying to get him battle ready. So real quick, just give him some battle medicine.
The bandages are just hanging off, so you're trying to like quickly tie them.
All right. Trained or expert?
I'm gonna go with the expert.
All right, give me a medicine check, DC 20.
Oh.
Looks like a 19 to me, my friend.
Oh, no. Or something, or anything. Where's our +1s? Thought this was Pathfinder. Look for your cheat.
I'm gonna be selfless in the room of Gazra here, and I'm gonna use my session reroll on that.
All right, session reroll. You'll love to see it.
What a hero.
No longer.
And I'll get
You're
indicators
+1.
for these. That's
24.
better.
That's a lot.
2d8 plus 10 health with a quick triage. You already got the healer's kit in your hands. And what you get what you
15.
pay for. 15 health.
Oh.
But still,
Oh.
it does, wrapping up what you've been working on, it brings him back up to pretty fighting fit there. At least you have 2 actions left.
All right, and I'm
Oof.
going to get away from this door, right next to Selwyn and Ara here, and I'm going to raise my shield.
Alright. The first of these ghouls, Triton 2, is going to hiss, almost Scooby-Doo in place, with the haste at which he tries to scrabble backwards, his clawed feet just scraping across the stone with no traction for a moment, before he bolts back around the corner, down towards the crypts below. He wants absolutely none of it. He is not interested. Why did that? Ooh, that made a weird thing on roll 20. Oh no, roll 20! Don't do this to me! And because you are both at 14, Ara, you win the tie against the one remaining.
Yay! Well, I was looking down this hallway, not paying attention to that door. I hear a bunch of fighting and scraping behind me. So what's happening?
The dead walk.
They want to get healed too?
Sure, heal him with fire.
Oh,
Heals
okay.
everyone with fire.
I am gonna walk in front of someone, and once again, as the Aura Classic here, drawing a bunch of radiant heat from myself and fling a little fire, produce flame at him, rolling a 28 to hit,
That's a critical hit!
14 fire damage.
Wow.
What happens to him?
And he max rolled it. Well, yeah.
As I draw in and I start doing my incantations, some of the heat from not the pillars obviously, but from the torches on the hall come to me. I lift up off the ground and just put my hands out and go, just push a little swirly, slow moving fireball, and it hits and it explodes bigger than you think it should.
And almost with like a dumbfounded look on his face, as the zombie watches the one come to the door and get murdered immediately, and then turns as his friend scrabbles, reacting a little faster, hissing back towards the crypts. He just turns back towards the party in time for this fireball to hit him and burst, completely overwhelming him as he screeches, hands flailing, sinking down to the ground in a smoldering heap of rotting flesh.
Woo, go team. We do it.
Not anymore. I like peek
Slowly.
around the door, like waiting for people to come by, and I'm like, what the heck?
I go poke at the body.
The doors swing back shut.
Yay!
Because it's a saloon.
Slow
Something like
saloon. It's more like one of those spring automatic doors that just goes.
So I'm going to get the body of this body, and then get the other body of the druid, and just start piling them up in front of the door. They're like, "Don't worry, got this." What a great
Make
idea.
a barricade. A bloody
No,
corpses.
the swinging door.
Oh, okay. That's not better, but okay. So Lizard Man takes the time to build a corpse barricade in front of these large swinging doors. And these doors are a good 10 feet tall, huge stone frame.
It'll work. Don't worry
With
about it.
just 2 corpses. Like just door stops, really, laying in front of them. This
Don't worry,
chamber.
if it catches under them, they'll like stop it, you know.
This chamber, which at first entrance was breathtaking and beautiful, now with blood and gore strewn all across the middle of the room, sprayed up some of these central pillars, splashed against the back wall, and now just pooling against these 2 doors, where the bodies have been heaped.
Well,
What?
so
I'm poking at the body of the undead after Lizard moves it. I wanna. Can I do a recall knowledge using nature on it?
No.
Don't know what it is.
It would
no?
be religion.
I can't recall knowledge on religion. I'm not trained.
I can do it. I would like to.
I am not the smart.
Selwyn's gonna put some think into it after seeing these come through the doorway.
Is this a
Someone-
secret roll?
Someone, what's this?
It is a secret roll, yes. What is your modifier?
Shit, what is my modifier? My modifier is a 6.
With a 6, you can fairly easily identify one of the more common types of undead that plague Galarian, and one of the most dangerous, due both to how common they really are and their intelligence. These are not mindless shamblers. These are not simple zombies. Those were most certainly ghouls. Known for their paralyzing fangs and claws, a single attack can leave their victims wholly unable to respond as they are devoured alive, torn limb from limb.
Ugh.
Well,
yeah, that's gross. So the other one, we should just like,
Kill it fast?
should we go after it?
Probably.
At some point. Well, once
Uh,
we're all getting healed.
I don't like the idea of leaving them.
Well, it'll take us a while to get
I
healed.
would like to
Probably
finish
lose it
the
at
work
that
I
point.
was doing
You
before
would also know that's possibly worse, even if you do survive an encounter with a ghoul. They carry a corrupting disease in their bite that over a course of just nights can turn you into one of them.
Good news is, no one got bit.
No one got bit.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean there's not more of them.
How do you turn a plant into a ghoul?
Carefully.
So we gonna sit around here again and wait to get healed again?
Yes.
Well, probably. I mean, now
Done.
it's super safe over here.
As I was saying, it worked the first time.
Yeah. They'll never step on a second time.
The minefield theory. These mines have already exploded. They're safe here now.
Why's my light keep going off?
So, as you return to the corner triage station here, are returning to his post, continue watching over the group of you. Artemis keeps trying to tend to mostly Selwyn now, but also to touch up Lizard Man to continue her work. It had been maybe about half an hour since the battle with the worm and the druid when these ghouls arrived. So now as you settle down to continue your work, as the afternoon wears on, Selwyn, Lizard Man, make me a perception check.
Well, I don't like to make these because it implies bad things are happening.
24.
17.
So 24, as you sit here resting, you hear the particularly loud crash of a wave outside just kind of roll in through the hallway. You can still sort of hear the sounds of nature outside. I mean, beyond the passage past these double doors is an external building. It seems the Hermitage was built here really because of its proximity to these elements, the wind and the waves that so made Gazra's worship. 30 minutes passed without incident. And Arabis, at the end of that, give me a medicine check to see how much we can do. Are you going expert or trained on this one?
I'm gonna go with the.
And also, if you
trained.
want, remember you can take another hour to just double this, or you can try to treat them with this 10 minutes to get moving again before something does happen.
Leave it to the party decision, I guess. I'm just trying to finish up this hour.
Make a roll and then we'll decide, right? We're allowed to.
Yeah, you actually do decide after you roll.
Oh
Oh, well, never mind.
So, unfortunately, these wounds that Selwyn has suffered here seem to fester oddly in a strange way. The 2 on the die, at 13 total. They seem to bear some kind of demonic corruption that makes them very resistant to traditional methods of medicine. Some of her cuts, some of them are deeper gouges, no matter what you do, just continue to seep and bleed. Beyond that, a lot of the damage she's taken is from negative energy, which seems nearly impossible to treat through mundane means without a much greater amount of time. After that hour, you're unable to heal Selwyn or Lizardman any further.
I did make a lot of progress, but I understand why I'm kind of off my game, as you would say, Selwyn.
Yeah, well, worms suck.
Well, the
So-
room is really bothering me. Could we possibly clean this up? I mean, is this Storm Lord literally spoke to me?
Can I just cast Prestidigitation
Yes.
to unsoil the room?
So
what
Ara
are we gonna
quickly
use?
Shit, that's a big ask of
casts
prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation, and one of the bloodstains in front of him, like it was touched with a paper towel once.
And
He has an hour. He has an hour.
I just keep doing it.
Just for an hour, as much as he can do.
I mean, I
So
could
you
go
taking
get
another
different
hour
ball
then?
stops.
Well, yeah, we kind of have to.
So
You know what, why not?
continuing,
Let's,
I don't like waiting
clean
around.
I don't either. But
continuing to wait, or if that is what we are doing, because everyone's saying they're not liking it, but not that anyone's doing anything different.
Uh, how bad are they hurt? Because I can't see anything.
I'm very badly hurt.
Pretty hurt.
Screw it. I walk up to Selwyn and I just cast the two action cast of
need
heal
to
on
do-
him. You need to?
I need to do this.
You need to do this?
I'm a little
She stops
tired.
you as you start to cast.
Yep. I go back to casting Prestidigitation.
I'm a little tired.
So as you cast throughout this, Ara excitedly repeating over and over and over, Artificium, 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 waving his hands, slowly cleaning up little bits of the blood and stains from across the room. It's certainly slow going. Prestidigitation is only so powerful, and this is a massive room. Very sullied at this point. After about 10 minutes, Ara's excitement. Artificium. Artificium. If you continue casting, you will become fatigued.
Oh,
And I sit down. I'm gonna take a break. Yep, a break. That's what you need when you clean.
He's cleared up an area around the worm demon. He's certainly made an impression here in the center of the room, maybe fully cleaning up 2 5-foot squares of the dark blood splashed across the beautiful mosaic floor. But clearly exhausted, he just kind of plops down. Repeatedly casting a spell is fatiguing after some time, and he can only do it for so long. As everyone continues to treat here, Lizard Man, as you had heard before, you'd be the first to notice a voice getting closer to the door next to Arbus and Selwyn.
No.
They're coming. They're coming.
And after a moment, any of you would be able to hear clearly a woman's voice shouting, "This is exactly the nonsense Sel spoke of, you old prude! By what reason what have you ever done for us to deserve?" And the door flies open to reveal 2 more of the druids inside. One right next to it, a woman who is turned away from you, hand on the handle, screaming back into the room towards a much older man dressed very similarly, a scowl on his face, looking towards her.
While she's looking away, can I fucking bolt?
You are, you can stop seeking, and you can switch to hiding with your exploration action if you want to try to get out of the way quickly here. You sidle alongside the door, just a little bit out of sight. Anyone else want to?
Can I?
Okay,
well, I mean, I'm obviously not treating anymore. Can I switch to hiding too?
You you want to try and hide in this little corner of the
towards-
room here, or like Solid
step
Snake
up here.
across the opening to the other side? What,
I
Bryn?
like step up to the door and just
Oh,
have my
Jesus.
shield up.
You step up and raise your shield, and the man, his eyes go wide as he sees you step forward. She's still just yelling at him about something. First! And she's, no, shut up! I'm not done yet! First! No, behind you! And she just shakes her head. She's dealing with it! She's been dealing up. Ural, who's done anything for us here, is going to deal with the crypt problem. Unlike you, who hasn't gotten off of your ancient ass in decades to have done anything. And as she still refuses to turn around here, the man clearly sees you, reaches, or passes back and draws out his trident. Looking straight at Lizard Man, past the woman. Ara, you can clearly hear the shouting now through the open door.
Can I just like punch her in the back of the head?
As you just raise a hand to smack her, she hears your claws on the floor and your scales as you move, and turns around as your hand is already raised to swing, her eyes going wide. Oh shit! She reaches for her trident. Everybody,
This is ridiculous.
roll me
I'm just trying to do my job.
some initiative.
Purpose is not happy.
Been a rough day.
Arvis is just mad at this
I need another
point.
beer.
Alrighty, let me roll 2 of these. And, yeah, Lizard Man. Turns out you can just punch her in the back of the head, yeah?
It would be a 26 because I'm doing it non-lethally.
A 26 will hit.
And I just punch her in the face. That's exactly what happened.
As she turns around,
Well, I just deck her.
You
If
just-
she turns, my fist is already in her jaw.
and she just calls out, "Oh shit!" and her face just hits her, and she staggers backwards. As she turns around, you can see she also looks a good bit older than the retainers and the druids you've seen so far.
Okay. So then I'm going to Well, she did not flinch at that, so I'm going to try and punch her again with a -5 with a still non-lethal. So that's a 24.
24 will hit.
And then I'm going to raise my shield and be like, "Are you one of the bad ones?"
So you
That's
just
late to
quickly
ask.
pop her twice. Are you evil? Aura.
I'm gonna move right here. And quick question: can I ready to cast my focus spell? That the one action focus spell?
You absolutely can, yes. If it is a single action, then you can ready it.
All right, I'm gonna ready it for the first person to attack Lizard Man. That's gonna be my trigger.
So, in 2nd edition, there are not triggers. You just ready it as a reaction that you can use to whatever you want, I believe.
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna-
cool. You can just say when you
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
just like you ready to attack as a reaction, or you ready to cast elemental toss as a
Yeah.
reaction. It's actually much less managed now, I think.
Cool. Well, then I'm gonna do that. 'Cause I heard Lizard ask a very polite question, and I'm waiting for a response.
The priest in the back, his trident drawn, pulls up one hand as he encounters Sphira Flamma, and kind of sends one hand forward as he rolls the other down towards the floor, almost like he's bowling, but without leaning all the way down. And as he does, a bit of energy coalesces up in his hand and glides out across the ground, gaining in size and mass as it does, before it ends here, rolling into Lizard Man as a large fireball on the ground.
I've missed your shitty fucking fireball.
Lizard Man, I need you to make me a reflex save.
19.
A 19, let me double check. Their spell DC, 19 is going to fail. So as this fireball rolls into you, your shield up. You possibly try to block it, and it just phases directly through, completely unharmed. In fact, rolling into you, just seemingly a burning pile of fire, more than an actual solid object. And as it crackles and burns, you are going to take 9 fire damage.
Okey-dokey.
It's a little rude.
I know, very rude.
You asked
And
the
then,
polite question.
with a second, with his hand still out, he turns around quickly, Clypeus, to flash a shield of force in front of him. Selwyn.
Well, I'd like to move behind. Where the hell is the guy? Where's the main?
He's at the other end of the hallway.
He's deeper in the room.
Oh,
through the
right,
door.
right.
You can only see the woman from here.
Okay, so I'll move here. Wait.
And now you can see the guy. And this, behind the doorway, it's not just a simple room. It looks like about a 15-foot chamber, like an entryway almost, before it opens up into a huge 20-foot across, very well-appointed bedchamber. A huge difference from the guest chambers you'd seen outside. This place is enormous.
I'm going to try to shoot this one with a telekinetic missile.
All right, she is going to have cover, but go ahead.
Alrighty. Is there any way I could stand where she didn't have cover? Like, would here do? Would here do?
She's kind
Or
of
was I
through the doorway, just is gonna give cover both ways.
Okay,
Sort of
regardless. Good to know. Okay, so I want to be like all the way back. I'm like in there. Sorry. For a 26.
46 will definitely do it.
And she'll get hit by some debris off the ground for 12 damage.
All right. And as this hits her and Lizard Man punches her twice, she is going to stumble backwards further into the room. About time you decided to do anything useful! Sphera Flamai! And repeats the same spell, rolling another one of these fireballs out the doorway. this one into Arvis. Arvis, make me reflex save.
That's 19.
We have lots of 19s in this.
Still gonna fail. This one's gonna connect with you for 11 fire damage. But it is now your turn.
And I want to go ahead and just
You want to
react.
use your thing?
Yep, and shout out, I can cast fire too, and just throw elemental toss at her for 24 to hit,
24 will hit.
doing 8 plus 2, 10.
So
That's
10.
Where was the 7? Hold up.
I'm looking at the dice on my screen. I'm trying to add up what's happening
10
here. And it's
damage.
all...
And she sees that coming, and it hits her, and she throws her hands up as she completes her spell. And some of her robes start to catch fire. What in the name of Gozer is this creature?
It's a
Arvis.
lizard.
I'm gonna put a hand on Lizard Man, not to put the fire out, to cast guidance, and say that the Stormlord is on our side in this fight. And then I'm gonna run away. Which is like a double move to here. So
Okie dokie.
yeah.
Lizard man, good luck, Chief. And she
You got
just
a
runs
+1.
off. You're up. You have a +1 to 1 roll this turn.
So you're the bad. Okay, good. So I just step in, and I'm just going to like full attack, try and actually take this woman down. 28.
28 will critically succeed.
Like, you're one of the evil. Okay, good. And then I just try and rip out her throat. For 10 damage.
As she's stumbling backwards and reeling from the fire, you will do exactly that.
She's
Ripping
got
your
a small
claws
neck.
forward.
She's got a very womanly neck. She's got a small neck, and I'll just like put my claws around it, and it just decapitates.
And she
like-
crumples to the floor, dead.
And I look at the other one.
And the man just calls out, "First!" And looks up towards Lizard Man enraged.
I guess I'll raise my shield. I'm like, whoop.
Hit the head behind the shield.
Comes out.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Ara.
And then I look to the guy in the very, very back. I'm gonna spend an action to draw out my words to make Produce Flame go even further, and hit him with Produce Flame as well, or I don't know as well, but Produce Flame at 60 feet instead of 30. Oof. We're at 11 to hit.
11 is not gonna do it. Your fire just seems to dissipate, and the flaming masses of these spheres now blocking the doorway.
I don't want him to outdo me. I'm gonna use a session reroll on that.
Okay.
No one outdoes me in fire. He might outdo me in fire.
Unfortunately.
15 looks like he's gonna outdo you with fire, unfortunately.
Mine's still better.
And the priest, roaring with rage, spins his trident as he slides his foot backwards and changes his stance. And as he moves his foot, the fireball he had conjured rolls in the door back to Lizard Man. And I need you to make me a reflex save again.
Such a cool spell.
19.
Still
I wonder
fails.
if this will work.
Someday 19's gonna work on something.
And as he pulls it, it hops up off of the ground to burn center mass into you. You're going to take 16 damage as he charges forward enraged. You solely the hermitage of Gozer! And strikes us down with his trident towards you.
Me. You know, I have a Stormlord woman over here. Chosen.
It's going to be a 19 to hit.
He just flat out swings wide. Not even close.
I think a 19's pretty close.
I'm 22.
Yeah,
Have my shield
so why does a 19 not hit you?
Because it ain't close
Because
enough.
it swings totally wide.
He strikes down at you with a trident, your shield raised, you catch the tines of the attack, and shouldering the force of it, shunt it down to the side.
He didn't even hit my shield though. He just swung wide because it didn't even hit me without my shield.
If you are completely naked, what's your AC? Because I'm pretty sure it's like 12, so he definitely would hit you with a
Are
19.
you playing my character? Excuse me?
Selwyn.
You like flavor your stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's flavor it because a 19 is not just
stuff.
oopsie poopsie and just swinging up into the abyss. It was a good strike. You're just better.
I'll move to here.
Is it?
Watching feel some sort of ancient familiarity with these spheres, some might say made of fire.
Your hands feel a bit crispier all of a sudden.
Yeah. And I'll make another telekinetic blast at the one that Lizard's facing.
He let his shield fade as he rushed forward enraged. He still has the doorway.
He still does have the doorway. 20. I believe
he'll
the
do it,
doorway
though.
will save him. Oh, really? Huh. So,
He's just wearing light leather armor under some robes. It's very
that's
simplistic.
fair. So, this doorway is a nuisance, but is a trident of light bulk? Or is that of one bulk? Because I would love to use the other guys.
No,
the girl's
absolutely.
trident.
You throw the trident at him.
Alright, I'm gonna throw the titan laying next to the body right into his chest, circumventing the whole issue with there being a door. 4, 11 damage.
Now with the first strike that comes up, hitting him from the side as he attacks.
And that's me.
Arbus. And as Selwyn's turn ends, this fireball outside the door flickers, dissipates, and just puffs into non-existence, leaving just the one on Lizard.
I really want to learn that spell.
I am going to step here to get a better look at our flaming lizard and hold out my hands using the last of my energy to try to stitch up the lizard while he's on fire with my lightning. Attempt to heal.
All right.
For 11 HP. And for my last action, I'm going to put my hand on Selwyn's shoulder and say, I still don't understand the handle joke. And you have guidance.
Lizard, man.
I feel like I should get a -1 instead of the one.
I'm going to move around this guy to the backside, and I am going to shove him into his own fireball, grabbing his head and like pushing it into the ball. Trying to shove with, I guess, athletics.
Yes.
31.
Wow!
A crit.
Wow!
No!
Natural
Rude.
20. Okay. So, you shove him back into the corner of this room where the fireball rolled up into you. Are you following?
Yeah.
Since that critically succeeds and you only have 5 feet to shove him, go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Okay. 4.
He takes 4 bludgeoning damage just from being slammed up into the wall.
I grabbed his head and put it forward, but I didn't realize how close he was to the wall, and I just accidentally kind of smashed his head into the wall a little bit.
He's also going to take 15 fire damage
Heh. Idiot.
from this
Oh,
burning
no.
orb here.
Is he
Poor
going to
guy.
be killed by his own orb of fire?
Well, he's still up.
I
He's
hope so.
Oh, okay.
he's still
Hardy
there. He's
fellow.
still going.
He's hard, young man.
And then I guess I will, my hands on his head, I'm gonna draw my claws back and try and rake some of the life out of him. It didn't really work. He's kind of slippery now.
He's
But
gonna slam
13.
into the wall and on fire.
It's all that blood.
All right, Aura.
I'm definitely not gonna let the lizard outfire me. I'm gonna produce flame again. I need more fire spells. Will 21 do it?
Through the doorway, just barely. 21 will make it.
For 11 points of damage.
Alrighty, so at 11 points of damage as he gets pushed into his own fire, and another fireball adds into this. His robes now catching, burning in flames. As the man roars in combined rage and pain, still fighting. But clearly at death's door.
And I put my hands on my hip and go, this is just not a good day.
The priest slides a foot forward, sending the fireball back to Lizard Man's square instead of his. Make me a reflex save. Roll higher than 19.
19 it is. I'm ready for 20. Ooh, baby, look at that.
And you
Roll higher.
dodge it as it rolls into the square entirely, suffering no damage, having had enough of this fireball. And as he slides his foot forward, he brings one hand back to his chest, making a gesture with the other. Son of mayhem! Casting a spell which would definitely provoke an attack of opportunity. As you would recognize a familiar incantation from the billion. Oh!
Ooh, Lizard's done with this. He's getting another throat.
What do you do to him?
That's exactly it. I grab it this time. As my hand kind of slips down his back, I reach forward to grab his neck and just slam him into the ground where the fireball would be, but he just kind of goes through the fireball and just kind of squishes into the ground a bit.
And as he casts this and he falls down, the spell completing, he reaches out enraged, and one last defiant attack, the magic of his spell leaving his hand and flowing into Lizard Man. Healing him for 13.
Healing me for 13?
Pardon?
Pretty sure that's just adrenaline. I feel great, you guys. Adrenaline, it's crazy.
Well, he cast heal as 2 actions, and as the world goes dark, he just punched out towards you, and it went into you instead.
Oh, I was like, for a second, I'm like, wait a minute, are we the bad guys again?
We're never the bad guys. We're always the heroes.
And after a few more moments, the fireball continues to roll past Lizard Man, puttering out a few feet beyond.
I
Well,
rummaged the bodies. Trying to
These
get
both
anything useful.
seem to be geared identically to the one they had outside. Simple leather armor under their robes. More symbols of Gazra. These two, however, not carved over with sigils, but set inside of what appears to be a bronze ring around the outside of the original round pendant. This ring, with marks, glyphs, more demonic runes, set around the symbol of Gazra itself.
Lizard, I don't think they were good guys.
yeah, I got that part, actually.
Oh, so did I.
I'm glad we agree, though.
In addition, the woman appears to have a scroll on her person. A scroll of what is clearly primal magic that you can actually fairly easily put together what it does.
Ooh.
Alright, I want to make sure everyone's ready for this one. This is a fairly
wonder.
simple spell. First level magic. Were you to learn or draw out the magic inside this scroll, you could, with an incantation and motion, conjure a 5-foot wide rain cloud above a target that follows them wherever they go, remaining about an arm's length overhead, unless it has to drift lower to fit under a ceiling or a door, which it will, raining constantly on the target, keeping
It's
them
kind of-
drenched, dampening the ground beneath them in the wake of any movement.
I love that spell.
So it's like,
How-
I
so
take
it's like a
the
snack spell for like.
You have
horror
a
or something?
scroll of personal rain cloud.
I take the scroll and just look at it, look up at Arvis, put it away. So, this will be good later.
Okay. So, is
bed.
there anyone else that wants to interrupt me when I'm trying to do what I do?
This looks like a closed room. If we closed this door and piled the bodies in front of this door, for sure, nobody would get in.
My God, lizard man, there's blood everywhere in here.
Well, it's
This
okay. It's okay.
antechamber here leading into the bedroom would be absolutely
It has to be a gore
ruined.
fest.
He ripped out someone's throat and then basically ripped out someone else's throat. It's only about a 10 by 15 foot entryway with a simple wooden writing desk and a chair and some shelves on the other side. It is wholly drenched in blood. The whole entirety of the floor in this chamber, a pool.
Perhaps
don't worry about
not. I mean, maybe we not do the work in here.
If you think it's too much, I'll just take the robes and I pull the robes over their heads, and I just like shove them up into the corner a bit.
It's okay.
Yeah, good. We can go onto the bed, actually.
A
Look,
sarcastic
it's all bouncy
prestidigitation
and
over here.
stuff. Ooh, this is a nice bed. Like,
As the group of
quality
you
bed.
come into the room, again, it is fairly well appointed. The main chamber here is furnished with a fairly large, simple, but well-made double bed and armoire, and even behind a screen on the west side of the room, a metal personal bathtub set into the corner. There is a nightstand next to the bed with a single, simple drawer set into it. And as you all come into the room, assuming we are going back to our original exploration, Lizardman and Selwyn seeking, opening the drawer reveals a few things. There is a small, simply what looks like hand-bound journal. Two more scrolls, and a little cash box.
Who found that?
It would be Selwyn or Lizardman. I guess Lizardman went in the room first, so probably him, as he was just kind of looking through. He very intently wanted to go towards the bed, and it would be in the nightstand next to the bed, so Lizardman finds these.
Comfy though, so just keep in mind, this would be a great place to heal.
It's a great idea.
Shutting the door behind you.
Oh yeah, not to worry. I'll
Leave.
shut the door and I pile up the bodies in front of it again.
Piling up the corpses of yet more slain druids before this door.
I take all this stuff out of the drawer and just drop it in front of Selwyn.
Well,
The book and money. You like those, right?
but I do like books, and I do like money. What's on the book?
The book appears to be a personal journal kept by a Reginald Hamdeal.
I would like to read through the journal.
Looking through it, it's a lot of notes about his observations on the region. In fact, largely the entire Isle of Errant. He has noted over the past few months what seems to be a recurring theme here: the gradual failure of the Errant Tower, and his personal frustrations about being unable to do anything personally about what he sees as the directly resulting decline of the environment around. The rivers running dry, crops failing or having their yields at best. There are also some notes about recent sightings in the region of trogs, but with no further details. The Errant Tower, all of you would know, is the name of the Aeon Tower on the Isle of Errant that you would all have seen on the way here, that Erodin used to raise the Starstone Isles from the depths of the seas. But those are largely just ancient religious tales. This is scripture, not history. They do intermix sometimes, but clearly he built the towers, but none of you would have been aware they did anything beyond their original function. The journal seems to imply they not only do, but with this tower failing, it's plunging the whole region into decline.
Oh,
The cash box has 29 gold.
Sweet.
Cool.
and what about the 2 scrolls?
The 2 scrolls are also both primal, and you would be able to easily determine what either of those do. They are both 2nd level magics. The first allowing you to slap or stomp a nearby surface of liquid and send a surge of water rushing out away from you, forming a flat, 5-foot thick, 10-foot high wall of water up to 15 feet wide, as you decide. It then proceeds to move 60 feet in a direction of your choice, extinguishing fires, carrying along light items, pushing along larger items, and it will continue another 60 feet later. Any creatures that are not truly massive will have to steady themselves or be swept away in the sea surge. And the second seems very akin to the magics that Arbus calls down from Gazra to her strikes of lightning. With an incantation and emotion, a single target is smitten with a blast of lightning, dealing an impressive amount of raw electrical damage. A sudden bolt. Now, these scrolls that you found here are all uncommon as well. So if you choose to use them rather than learn them, they will be difficult to replace. Even with your understanding of primal magics, these are spells that none of you have ever really encountered or possibly even heard of before. This is new magic.
Well, I take these 2 new scrolls and dump them at Arbus's feet because she is busy, and I am not going to interrupt her. And say, you'll like these.
Oh, well, thank you.
1 for me, 2 for you. It's fair.
So you have a scroll of Sea Surge and a scroll of Sudden Bolt.
Who?
While Ara has a scroll of Personal Rain Cloud.
He's gonna troll people with that, I'm sure.
Hopefully
Great.
he use it on more drain.
So as we
The
rest
dwarfs.
here in this room, the door shuttered, blockaded by a heap of yet more murdered druids. This is a fantastic place for us to take our midstream break, is it not?
Agreed.
Refill
good.
your drinks, use the bathroom, get some snacks. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, everybody. And when we return, we continue our explorations of the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning. All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh, baby. So now that, largely everyone has come to us, it makes our exploration significantly easier, to be fair. We have finally found a place to rest in this very well-appointed, if simple, bedroom. We found some interesting things. We found some fantastic scrolls that everyone's very excited about. Everyone's got some neat new toys. And after another hour, as you're fairly certain that outside the sun will be beginning to set soon, it's getting late, Arbus is able to make another medicine check for Selwyn and the Lizard Man, or for Selwyn and herself, because you are also a bit injured now. You can treat 2 people, right?
Yes, I can treat
Lizard
2
Man
people.
looks mostly okay.
Pretty good, actually. The adrenaline from that fight really patched up a lot of my wounds.
Okay, well then I'll do Selwyn and myself then, if he's feeling
And
better.
he's just sprawled out on the bed, having a great time. Just chilling. What a happy little lizard he is. Are you going for the trained or the expert?
I'm going for the trained.
Good call.
Ooh!
Good call.
Whew.
With a 16, After all the pressure you've been feeling the last few hours, all these injuries, you're able to restore 2d8 health to yourself and Selwyn. Now, do you want to continue to treat longer here? I guess it is actually even after you roll the heal. You heal 8 for both of you.
Okay.
Now, you can stay in here for another hour instead of 10 minutes and treat yourselves more long term before you head back out into the Hermitage, and you'll restore another 8 health. It will be starting to get fairly late. And you've got a few hours before fatigue starts to set in. But as the night moves on, it will get tiring. And it is certainly not easy to return to town from here.
Might want to, I don't know how to Selwyn, we should probably not continue. I need more time to look at you. You're kind of little beat up, little worse for the wears. I myself, I'm getting a little tired as far as my magics. I don't know. Can we stay here?
This room is really comfy.
You look very comfortable.
I am super comfy.
I'm sitting on Lizard Man.
Even the plant is comfy.
He's very. Look at this. I like the mohawk. It's like, which is that the right term?
I think so, yes. I was just copying Zerg.
Yes.
So, you're gonna stay here. It sounds like Arbus wants to stay for another hour at least, if not longer.
Is it even safe?
I mean, do we want to stay the night?
I don't want to
here?
stay.
I mean, how much more could there possibly be? I mean, we've killed like half a country by now, so. I know there's one more Ghoul somewhere, but.
What if he brings back his friends?
Well, I don't know. Then
Do ghouls? Do they have friends?
Doesn't
There's
everyone
3
have
of them.
friends?
I don't know.
Someone?
I think we should stay.
Okay, cool. Sound like a plan. I'm gonna stay
Okay
here.
then.
While you heal up, I'm gonna take a nap.
Oh, that really does sound good right about now, huh? Oof.
You could fight her for control of the bed, Lizard Man. So
We both
She's
can fit on the
small.
bed.
Yeah, she's small. She can stand
Yeah,
on one
I'm
side.
tiny.
Off.
Actually, basically all of us can stay on this bed now that Zig's, taking a crap.
Oh.
I would be fine on the floor.
On the floor? Why would
So-
you stay on the floor if there's a bed?
I've slept in worse conditions.
Yeah, you could sleep in better though.
How do they say?
Ti-
I can sleep like rock. You know.
Oh. Alright, yeah, I mean, if you feel like sleep on the floor, chill.
Alright, climbs into a freaking bathtub. Like the weird little plant baby he is.
Well, do plants even need to sleep?
Yes.
Yes.
Everything needs
You,
to sleep.
you're a humanoid plant. You just still need to sleep. You just still get tired.
Just don't get tired.
Well, am I treating them for the whole hour then?
If you want to, absolutely. Then, if you're staying in here and you're going to continue to treat yourself and Selwyn, you would each restore another 8 hit points after an hour. At this point, the afternoon, certainly outside, starting to move to evening. It's not late by any stretch of the imagination, but it's getting there. And
So, you wanna go, kill some more stuff and then come back here and sleep? I mean, you guys look great. I mean, besides, the droopy eyes and whatnot, but I'm sure with the adrenaline kick in once we, start dying and whatnot.
I feel great.
Yeah, you look great. Looking great.
did you heal that second 8, Selwyn? Were you that low? You're muted.
I did not put that in. No, I have
There we
not.
go. I was gonna say, I don't
was
think you
low.
were that hurt.
I was pretty hurt.
You were hurt, but you weren't that hurt.
I was at 2 HP.
Anyway, Lizard Man asks
Wow.
the group.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
let's go kill some things and then come back and sleep.
if you feel we
Headed.
must, sure. I don't have a lot of magics left though.
yeah, don't worry about it.
I do.
Well then,
Yeah, you
as
can
long
just
as
start
someone
like
does.
punching things. You know, it's really easy to punch things when you
I'm-
don't have magic.
Not
It
much
is
of a
very easy to
puncher.
punch things.
Yeah, see, the plant even punched things, and it was great.
Oh.
Just think, what would Zerg do? And do that.
And
Also,
don't do that.
No,
That's a
don't
terrible
do that.
idea.
That's a terrible idea.
No, so is that? Do I just do random
Yes.
things? This is
So
my
don't do
turn.
that. Definitely not like Zig. You could take one of these little like pitchfork things, and you could fight with that because it's not metal.
There are quite a few tridents that are wielded by the druids, though the tines of the blade are tipped in steel. The weapon is largely wooden.
Oh, yeah, they
Now-
were using it, and they were druids.
I was
They're-
trained from a very little girl to be the weapon. I don't need a weapon. I am one.
Oh, so you can punch people
No, I can do worse than that.
without
seen.
your magic.
Sure.
Good. Okay, perfect. Total trust. Okay, let's go.
Total trust.
Okay, I'm
Okie
gonna
dokie
move.
then.
I'm gonna move the two bodies onto the counter here so that they're out of the way.
Just
Just
push bodies away.
Heap them over the desk. Just
You
in
store
a
your bodies?
pile.
The cleaner out here, just moving bodies around, cleaning up the crime scenes.
I
And
mean,
so-
we could give them to the frogs if you felt that better about it.
What would be like 2 hours later, Lizard Man opens the door back to an area almost exactly as it was left. Stained with blood and gore. One little clean area in the middle around the shriveled husk of the worm beast. And the body of a druid and a ghoul piled together against the double doors on the eastern side in front of you.
So
We
we
should-
can either go hunt down the other ghoul, or we can go and like explore up here a bit.
Well, they told us to cleanse the corruption, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we must save the Hermitage leader, Reginald.
Reginald was told, we were told he was in the crypt, right?
I think
They
that's
also
where
lied
we
to
should
us
go.
about what they were doing. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Up here or down there? Vote, yay, nay, up here,
I think we do down there first.
down there. Okay, let's go, people.
So very much
Um,
enthused, Lizard
before-
moves to remove some more bodies from the doorway.
As Lizard does that, can I run down this southern hallway and try to get that torch out of its?
There's a torch
Thing.
right next to us.
Is there a torch right next to us?
There
Yeah.
there is a torch mounted in the bedroom as well. Yes.
I'll take a torch from somewhere.
Okay.
I'll take
so
two
you
torches. I have two hands.
Take the torch out of the bedroom, and then if you want to run down the hall, the torches in this room aren't actually torches. It's just I had to put them there because they already be lit. There's
Yeah.
one in the bedroom, and you know there are several in the hallway on the other side of the stone doorway.
Oh, perfect. You'll
Oh,
get
that
someone
completely
with
slipped my mind because I have short-term memory loss. Forget everything. But I have a
Smart.
torch.
a torch.
All right, so you are carrying a torch.
I do not forget the dark. The dark is
Now, there
scary.
may or may not be a ghoul on the other side of this door.
And I hand the torch to Arbus.
Ah, it's a good club. If you hit them with the torch, then it also might catch them on fire. I like
helps.
your thinking.
Fire helps a lot.
Okay, I will hoard the torch.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So, Lizard Man pushes these doors open, them
I pull
swinging
the doors
outward.
open.
There's not like a handle or anything.
Well, and don't they only go one way?
No, they are pretty much saloon doors.
Yeah, they're saloon doors. Come on now.
They're just larger, more properly fitting stone saloon doors, but they're pretty much saloon doors. And you can You can push them right open, and it will take them a little bit to swing back shut slowly. And as Lizardman warned, there is in fact a dead ghoul outside, very charred, very incinerated.
Yeah, another ghoul. That was
His
supposed to be
skin
alive.
blackened. Meanwhile, Zerg is still... You can hear the sounds of Zerg's distress coming from the southern end of the hall
3 hours later.
as he still continues to obliterate the bathroom beyond.
Yep. Good luck, Sig. I wish you the best. So I start walking, I guess, downstairs.
I take this torch as well.
If we all die, Cirque's our only hope.
He'll come
he'll be
save me,
fine.
don't worry.
I mean, he just
Alright,
has
so-
to open the door and gas the place out.
So Ara and Arabis are now both carrying torches in a hand. Lizard Man taking up the lead. Go ahead and arrange yourselves here how you want to proceed down into the crypts below.
This is my spot. I'm bigger than you.
That's a little rude.
Get back.
Pulling the size card on him. Oh, you hate to see it.
And she's like 5'2", but still, that's enough.
You're twice his height.
Right? So?
So, Lizard Man leads the way once again back down the stairs into the depths. And as he does, following around a corner, waiting for a moment in near complete darkness for Arabis to turn it with her torch, Ara following along not far behind. This takes twists and turns here, but the sounds of the outer hermitage fall completely behind you as you continue, as you progress. Lizard Man stumbling as he rounds a second corner onto stairs in the absolute darkness before Arabis comes around with her torch to reveal what is almost certainly a dead body, wrapped in a burial niche, set against the wall directly in front of you.
I don't know why
There
they don't.
are 3 here. One at about knee level, one at waist, and the third body directly in front of you. And all 3 of them holding a corpse wrapped similarly in ancient ceremonial cloth.
I don't understand why they don't just give these bodies to the frogs too. I mean, this would make a great pantry.
So, as we're doing this, Lizard and Selwyn, are you still keeping an eye out?
I would like to hide now.
I'm going to be keeping an eye out because I am in the front.
How about
I
you,
would like to
Arabis?
look.
What are you doing as you explore these crypts?
I would also like to use my eyes with this torch to try to see any ghouls that may sneak up on us, or traps or dangers that lie
Looking
ahead.
around. Ara?
He is muted.
I
Still
can't talk. There we go. I'll speak word. Ara is completely bored, so he reverts back to just casting Detect Magic to pass some seconds.
So I will let you know, Selwyn, with your attempts to hide here, these crypts are dark, save for the flickering light of your torches, and Ara is standing behind you. Invenit Magicae! Invenit Magicae! Over and over and over again, casting in a loud voice. It's not subtle.
So they'll see him and not me.
You'll see,
Okay.
yeah, don't worry.
Fair
she'll
enough.
Be, she'll
Yeah,
be
it's
safe and
definitely
sound.
not going to be like an avoid notice. It's going to be like they may not see you first, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lizard Man
you-
reaches the
be
bottom of these stairs, winding their way down through the cliffs to realize the passage proceeds 2 directions. You can go right or left here. For
This
you,
way or that way?
darkness on either side.
Hey, I tap Arbis on the shoulder. Pass
Please.
this up to Lizard.
Okay.
Like passing a note, I hand him a torch.
Where's Selwyn?
Are you taking the torch, Lizard Man?
Yeah, I take a torch, sure.
Like a
Pass it
note, like a passing a note in class.
Alrighty.
Pass
And
him up
as
the
the,
torch.
as the torch reaches Lizard Man and illuminates much more of the area, you see dozens of these burial niches spreading out to the right and left, all racked in stacks of 3, near all of them, with a body still interred within. The passage looks like it splits in numerous directions down either fork.
Okay, any ideas of where we should go?
Well, for one, we should be respectful. This is their burial tomb. And
I wasn't planning on kicking everyone as we go past. I was wondering where we're going.
To the right.
To the right. Which way is that one?
Why the right?
Why the left? To the right.
Okay, I'm gonna go this way. I don't care what you guys say.
That's the right, I think.
Lizard Man moves out to the right.
Nope.
Where the path, again, seems to wind to his left, extending further. At the end of this one, leaving more space yet to be carved. The end of this hallway is not well made. It's not smooth. It's not hewn flat like the areas around the niches. It looks like it was mined until they simply stopped. Whereas the rest of this is fairly well and cleanly made. The passageway to your left extends onward as far as you can see with your torch. But further down the passageway, a good 50 or so feet away, you see a separate, faint light crossing over the end of this hall in front of another set of niches. A stronger light, barely illuminating the edges of the bodies interred within, that you can just see.
I'm going to reach down and wipe one of my my claws on the bottom of my feet, on the bottom of my foot, so I have a little red footprint. And I'm going to start walking down this way.
And this catacomb, these crypts, do open up like a maze, labyrinthine in their twists and turns, as you reach yet another junction, where hallways spread out in all directions. You could proceed anywhere, forward, left, right.
Lizard Man, hold on a second. Would I be able
Assuming
to?
everyone keeps up to stay in the light at least.
Would I be able to find tracks over here? Maybe
If you want to switch from seeking to attempting to track, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I want to switch. Look for tracks. Maybe find the route this person took. If there's something else down.
Now, before we do that real quick, from here, Lizard Man, you can see the left passageway appears to just be 2 sets of these niches before another rough-hewn ending where it looks like the mining just stopped. Whereas to the right, you can see more light coming across where it appears to angle once again 20, 30 feet down the way. Now, Arbus, go ahead and make me a survival check here.
Okay. Natural 20 for
The
a 29.
day of natural 20s. The 29, looking down, you can see that there has been countless footsteps coming through here throughout generations, to the point where very subtly there are even worn walkways in the center, where the stone has been worn more smooth by the passage of hundreds of feet over generations than it ever could have been with tools. However, it looks like there has only been a few tracks that have come here recently. 3 sets of human-sized feet, but with claws, made their way out back past you, and 1 returned. Only very recently. These footprints wind to the right in this intersection.
We're on the right path, Lizard.
Alright, this way.
Like I said, go right.
Yeah, keep saying all these words, man.
Everyone follows along the procession, continuing down the hallway here.
That's a good word.
Coming once again to a corner, but this one different, not leading to more hallways twisting and turning as they pass, but to a much more open chamber. A massive room, at least across, still only about 10 feet tall, with a huge marble statue in the center of the room, holding what appears to be an eternal burning flame in its hand, casting light out throughout the chamber, illuminating another, what must be dozens of niches around the walls. The statue is of an elemental, a towering man, seemingly a hybrid of air and water, riding on a curling wave, transforming into a truly muscular, super jacked upper body that seems to be sculpted of cloud. The fire that emanates from its hand is centered in an iron brazier that it's holding and is much, much brighter than any of the torches that you bear now, but still, it is a flickering and seemingly burning flame. Now, you notice something immediately off. Many more of the niches here are empty. And in fact, scattered across the ground, a few of the wrappings appear to have been ripped open. Ancient dry bones just left carelessly strewn across the floor.
Perhaps the ghoul?
Probably the ghoul. Keep going, eh?
Thank you.
Yes.
So,
I guess I'd raise my shield for this part. Just
alright, so you raise your shield instead of seeking as Arbus continues to follow the tracks, which do seem to lead up into this chamber. And your shield raised as you focus on defense as you proceed forward. You wouldn't be able to see all of the ghouls hiding in the wings until you'd come around the corner and they were set upon you.
Mm-hmm.
Changed from seeking immediately before the check.
Oh man, that's a feels bad moment right
It
there.
hurts me to see. But it was, I mean, it's debatably better to start with your shield up.
Probably better, yeah. I would
So-
say I'm not too worried about it.
Roll me some initiative.
It's okay, I've got my shield up, not to worry.
Got a shield up.
Button.
Un momento.
All right, ghouly boys. I gotta go down this list. Yeah.
That's a lot of rules.
As the trap is sprung here, the one tucked in the corner around to your left reacts immediately. Not to bite, but reaching out with his clawed hands to grab Lizardman, aiming to draw him further into the room. And this is going to be against your fort DC, an athletics of 12.
Well, that with a 20, fort save, then I am spectacularly sturdy, and I'm kind of crouched down. I do not move very easily.
No, you've got your shield up, and the last thing you are going to let these ghouls do is grab you and drag you into the room. So, having failed once, he is simply going to try again. Okay, so it is a natural 20, but the total result is only a 19. So it's not a critical success, it's just a regular success.
Regular success, okay.
And after a few moments scuffle, he is going to grab on to the lizard man. And then move the both of them further into the chamber. Ara.
Quickly and in a panic, I'm going to over-exaggerate my movements again to cast, what's the name of the spell? Magic Fang at 30 feet instead of touch. As Lizardman starts to feel a warmth emanate from his back where the actual magic hits him and radiates down to his hands. I'm going to make his claw attacks +1 striking. So,
Yeah.
Big claws.
yeah.
And as you do, another of these ghouls is going to spring into action, throwing himself in the doorway, preventing the rest of you from easily coming to Lizard Man's aid. As he does, he focuses attacks towards the reinforcements. Fanged Maw snapping towards Aribus. Going to be a 21 to hit.
That just hits.
And as he bites you, you're gonna take 4 damage. Like his mouth is mostly human, so he's not supernaturally powerful or anything. But as he sinks his teeth into you, biting down into your arm, you feel your muscles all start to lock. Make me a fortitude save.
That's a 13, but I think I'm gonna hero point that.
May-
Good plan. Good plan. I like it.
Maybe a good idea. I mean, I'm just that's not the
Yeah.
worst idea anyone's ever had.
Oh, it got worse.
Can I go with the first one, or am I screwed with the critical fail now on the natural
It is
one?
the second one. The good
I
news is a
thought so.
critical failure doesn't change anything on this. But as he bites Aribus, you see her freeze. Paralysis overcoming her body, and you are completely locked and unable to move. And oh boy. I didn't actually expect to get this far immediately. Now, the good news is paralysis is dramatically less bad than it was in first edition. You're not like, they can't coup de grace you and you're not AC 2. You're just flat-footed. Your armor still protects you. And you can just barely move and resist enough to stop them from just immediately killing you. However, he is just going to bite in harder. And that is going to be only a 12, though,
Oh, that's a miss.
as he is perhaps unprepared for how quickly you succumb. Selwyn.
Well, I would like to electric arc these two in front of me.
Okay. And we get some
Easy.
reflex saves. What is their reflex save? Oh, they're pretty swift, actually. The one biting into Aribus is going to get a 19. And what was the second one?
Success?
The one to the right or the one that's grabbing Lizard Man?
I went to the right.
Oh,
One to the right is going to have a 25. They are quick. They're not particularly strong,
a-
but they are quick.
Those are both successes.
So 4
So they
damage.
take 4 damage as this electricity crackles through him, and the one in front of Aribus, I'll give the trademarked mean glare, but without the powerful strikes to back it up this time. But not feeling so good about this one. And indeed, a natural one.
Yeah, natural one, yes.
As the lightning crackles through him and you look at him, he looks up at you and his eyes kind of go wide a bit. He pulls back off of Aribus. It's her! It's her from upstairs!
Who? Me?
So their
More
ghoul
concerned that they're talking.
is going to step back before commencing the feast here on Lizard Man. Now, fortunately, you do still have your shield raised, but you are also flat-footed, so I know your shield gives you a flat-footed as a -2. I think it's just a wash.
It's a wash, yeah.
Gonna bite you with a 26 to hit.
Okay, he digs in real good. It's not a
Yeah,
crit.
so
though.
one of them holds you in place. The other one bites, dealing 6 damage, and I'm gonna need you to make me a fortitude save.
Okay, -6. And then fortitude. 21.
The 21 is you feel your muscles start to cramp and lock. You fight it off. You struggle against it strongly. You can see what's happening to Arabus out of the corner of your eyes, and you do not want that to happen to you. And he is going to then, because you're able to ward him off decently well, slash at you with his clawed hands. That's going to be a 24.
Okay. It still hits.
Okay. Are you doing anything?
I don't know. I guess I could shield block. I have my shield up, so I guess I could shield block with it.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna deal damage.
Just grab to affect that at all?
No, it doesn't affect that. I don't know mechanically. Like, I don't care. I don't care that much. You can say shield block whenever. I don't know mechanically if you decide to block before or after it deals damage. But I'm pretty sure it's when you're hit. So if you want to block this, you can block this. He's not like completely immobilizing you. He's just like grabbing onto you. He's like got an arm basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll shield block it then.
Alrighty, he is only going to slap you for 2 damage.
Ah, good. Shield's
which is
really
just
going
gonna
down.
scrabble across the surface of your shield.
Yep.
Now, Arbus, you can only take holy mental actions.
Oh boy. Do I have mental actions is the question.
I don't know if you got any spells of I don't think you do. Because even if it only had a verbal component, you still need to be able to speak. So trapped, unable to move. Make me another fortitude save.
Yikes. All right. 22.
The 22 at the end of your turn, you will manage to shake it off. And as you feel your movement returning, fighting through this, you're no longer paralyzed from here on out.
Okay.
This other ghoul is going to leap. He just leaps over his comrade, springing to the back side of Lizardman to join in on the feast. He's going to attempt to bite you with a 27.
It also bites.
And you are going to take 3 damage, and I need another fortitude save from you.
Okay. 18.
With an 18, again, you feel this paralysis growing. You feel yourself slowing, your muscles kind of freezing and not responding, but you fight it off. And then just as the one before him did, the 3 of them around you just trying to savage you, swings his claws for an 18.
That misses.
That misses?
Okay. I have scaly
Shield's
armor.
still up.
Yeah, shield's still up.
Lizard man.
Okay, so I look around. Snarling, I shove the one on my left back into the hall, the other hall.
He is grabbing you, so to shove him away, you'd have to get him off you first. Because he's the one that's holding on to you.
If I shove him, does that not also break his grip?
Sure. You can, so go ahead and shove him.
I don't know, maybe not, I guess.
Yeah, you can shove him off of you.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's a 20.
With a natural 20, I actually think this does something. It does. As you push him off of you, you don't really manage to push him away because he's still clinging to you, but you break his grip. And with that momentum, you can actually move 5 feet as part of this action.
Move 5 feet, you say? I don't know. I would really like to shove him.
You can shove him again, but the first one's just going to get him off of you. But you can use that momentum to move 5 feet if you want to. You don't have to.
Okay, well, I guess I'll use it. I'll move over here. Would that really miss? Okay, well, If I wanted to move one of the like how they did, they grabbed me and moved me, and then we're still grabbed. Is that a special thing?
That is
for
a
them?
monster ability. It is not
Okay.
a thing that you can do that I know of.
Okay. And then I will. I don't know. I just slap this guy next to me, maybe. With a, and it misses. Natural one. Good old.
So one
natural
action
one.
left.
And then I'll raise my shield.
Okay. And now this ghoul, as you escape, enraged, is going to just follow after you. Mind boggled that with two of his allies biting into you as you were grabbed, you were still able to not only move, but outmuscle him and get away. He's almost just mad about it. And as he tries to bite down into you, with 27, you're gonna stop eventually. It's gonna deal 7 damage. I need a fortitude save.
Okay, let's see here. 7. 30. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
I do not
What
like
is-
being bitten. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's legendary.
What is happening?
He's sees you completely unhindered. He's gonna do it again. He is just angry. Wordless rage. 15 to hit on that one.
Nope.
And as you push him off of you, he just looks bewildered. Is this an elf?
Very
Alright.
elfy.
I hear him as it's a lizard. And I
Are
fling a-
lizards elves?
Yeah,
Ow.
you can't bite me. Scales.
I'm not having a conversation with you. I don't like you very much. And I'm gonna sling a produce flame at the closest one to me.
Okay.
One that's attacking Arbus. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
one
rude.
that's attacking Arvis, trying to hold everyone kind of a stop here.
Will a 27 hit him?
27 will critically hit even with the soft cover.
So 11 points of damage.
And as he is just consumed in fire, he drops to
Interest-
the ground in front of Arbus as she regains control.
Interesting. Can I elemental toss the one behind him?
Sure can.
So it's at a -5, so 20.
That hits.
Ooh.
So for 11 damage should be. Yeah.
And as that one hits him as well, you killed the one who went next. So as it goes to Selwyn, and he gets hit by a Gathoa plant throwing fire! Almost
Hey, you,
panicking as he just gets incinerated here, and his friend drops in front of him, smoldering on the ground.
Alright. Can I use some of those embers to shoot as a telekinetic missile?
You sure can.
I would
Wanna
like
jump on the
to.
fire train.
You throw
Yeah,
burning
yeah,
bits
hold
of
the
his
fire-
dead friend at him.
Yeah. I want to jump out of the pyromaniac train and hit this one
All right.
with an 28.
Natural
Well,
20.
20.
Nat 20.
Natural 20,
This-
critically
Joy.
succeed. This has
Wow.
been high rollers this session
Yeah,
today.
yeah, really
Both
has.
sides,
Make up for the-
because these are like all 18s and 19s to hit Lizardman too. This is just high rollers are us.
For 16 damage.
And that will kill him as he calls out. So let me reiterate that. Fire Gathoa!
Missed.
And just dropped down with his ally.
And this time, invigorated by my fantastic performance, incinerating this man, I would like to try to intimidate the one behind him
All right.
with a silent, evil glare for a 24. Wow, it really does work.
That's one off a critical success.
Oh darn! Oh,
So
well.
he's
Guess I'll live
frightened.
with a normal success.
He's frightened. And it's this one next to Lizard Man who has just bitten him once and seen Lizard Man bloodied but seemingly uncaring. Eyes kind of go wide. He gets a bit more defensive and turns his head back. Run! Warn Chial! The intruders are coming! And tries to bite Lizard Man. With a 21.
He just barely clanks off, jamming one of his fingers into my shield.
And as he can't seem to get a hold of you, he is going to sweep a claw for a 19, which definitely isn't going to do it, before leaping backwards across the room. And he moves oddly, quickly, and nimbly. And you don't find yourself, he doesn't really leave an opportunity for you to punish. It does not provoke. Arbus.
Oh.
As you regain control of yourself.
Okay. He's the one that's running away is the one that's trying to go warn his reinforcements.
He told the other one to go warn his reinforcements.
He told the other one
This
to
room
go.
doesn't, there's only one hallway leading out of this room, and it's to your left. He's jumped back into the deep back right corner of the chamber.
So this is the only exit on the left here, right?
Yeah, the only exit other than the one that you're coming in is just immediately around the corner to your left, which explains
Okay.
the light you saw coming across the hallway before.
All right, so as he communicates that to his partner, I'm focusing on the one that ran away. I switched my focus to the one that caught the information, and I start swirling my hands together. A little cloud appears over top of his head because he's about to get the Tempest Surge, so he can't deliver such message.
Alrighty, he is frightened, so -1 on his reflex save. As that bolt comes down, he's only going to get a 15.
Ooh, that is not a success.
He's trembling. He's shook.
Ooh, 17 electricity damage directly to the skull.
The bolt strikes him, this massive blast surging right through him, almost laying him low immediately with 2 clumsy and 2 persistent lightning damage as well. 1 action left.
I'm gonna move into the room. To here.
He is also going to just spring down to the hallway, launching himself 15 feet before he lands, breaking into a complete sprint, running away as fast as he possibly can, retreating.
Man.
But he has certainly left this encounter. Lizard Man.
I guess I will stride up to this one and try and take a swing. 26.
26 will critically hit.
Roll
For
another
18
d6.
damage.
Roll another d6.
Oh, and another d6.
Magic Fang.
Right. So it's 27
20 damage.
with 20 damage.
What do you do?
I helped.
I just go over there and I walk up to the ghoul, and I go to grab for one of the arms to keep him there, to keep him still, and he tries to jump off, and it just tears the arm off.
Are they made of paper?
Very, this one is very flimsy ghouls.
They still
Probably
make them
what
the way
this
they
one
used
died
to.
of originally. They probably just sewed it back on.
He had
and then-
bonitis.
Yeah, exactly. Very flimsy limbs.
As he goes to leap away, you yanking the whole arm off of him, and a hemorrhage just falling down to the ground. Negative energy that animates him no longer to keep him able to keep him going.
So apparently there's another one. Oh, a couple people.
Did you want
Somewhere.
Arbus, looking down the hallway to the left, you can see another much brighter light some ways down. Again, crossing this hallway, you can see. And clearly visible, the blood of the ghoul who had retreated that way, turning right at an intersection there. Lizard Man they didn't hit particularly hard, taking quite a few hits, and is looking a bit bloodied at this point.
Oh, I can't.
I'm fine.
Can I not move
Easy.
myself? I think my roll
Can
20
you
is
help the
freaking out.
lizard man?
I'm trying, but I can't walk.
You're unable. Oh, there you go. You
There
guys
you go.
slingshotting.
I couldn't move myself.
He was stuck forever.
I'm stuck forever. I'm gonna use. Yeah, I'm gonna use the last of my second level spell slots to heal for level 2 on him. He looks pretty hurt. So it's 2d8 plus 16.
Sure is. As this new, much more powerful magic flows into Lizard Man to undo the negative that the ghouls have imparted upon you, and just the
I
general ripping.
actually pull some of the flame down from the brazier up above me and put it into Lizard Man to heal him for 27.
27.
That's pretty good. Oops. I maybe overhealed myself a bit.
I am so healthy!
Let's see here. 47.
As you
Okay.
glance around this chamber here, you can see quite a few things. One of which, or many of which, of course, are just bodies. Those that were interred here seem to be fairly old. They've been left here for some time and are very little more than dried bones. Leaving the chamber, fortunately, well, previously, free of gore and stains, which you have now swiftly corrected, as both Lizard Man's blood around the center of the room and that of the ghouls has been strewn throughout. It's kind of scattered around with a few wrappings. It looks like they only opened up 3 or 4 before they just sort of gave up on looking through, not finding anything of value. But in one of the wrappings is a fur, almost mangy-looking, brown and gray, heavy travel cloak. It seems to have been wrapped with the druid. And Ara, as you all return to your exploration activities, with a casting, you would certainly detect magic in this chamber.
Arbus,
Yes.
do you see anything magical in here?
We'll start doing read auras.
Reading Ara around the
Yes.
room, one thing would stand out to you pretty much immediately, which is the strange statue here in the center of the room, which, when exposed to your read Ara, the light of the fire would be tinted a bit with the bright red glow of evocation magic on the brazier, the large, about 3 foot across brazier itself. Following throughout the room, you would get a second hit, as the fur cloak enshrouded around some bones in one of the ripped open wrappings shimmers with the yellow hue of a divination aura.
Ooh. I would like to further investigate this as delicately as I could.
So you can easily take the cloak out from the wrappings, certainly not disturbing the body any more than the ghouls already had, carelessly throwing it on the floor, hoping for a meal. It's would be nearly shoulder to foot length on a 6-foot person, a massive furry coat that seems to be made almost of straight, what looks like a coyote pelt, actually, but massively thick. Identifying the aura, again, is an action that takes 10 minutes to do. Identifying magic is slow now.
Maybe we hold on to this for later. We have to track the ghoul, right?
I mean, it's probably gotten to where it is, but I mean, if you,
I hit
follow
him
it-
pretty good. I bet he died along the way.
Oh, wait, perfect. I guess we should follow him then. Seem to be pretty good at tracking things anyways. He's probably leaving a trail of blood or something.
That's a good point. I can track the blood. Actually,
I mean, it doesn't take. No one has to do survival. It's literally
No, I
just like blood down the hall. He was desperately injured as he ran. Like, it's a very clear line. It's like smears and bloodied footprints down the hallway. Anyone who glances that direction can see where he went.
Oh, I think you went this way. I'm so good at tracking.
It's very good. Yes.
So as you proceed down, you would find yet. I mean, Selwyn could be up here again. You would find yet another one of the seemingly infinite splits in the catacombs that turns to the right, leading parallel to where it looks like that ghoul had run off to. Or you can simply continue after him as you were.
What do you guys think?
Why aren't we following him?
I think we
Okay,
keep following him.
We'll just follow him directly.
Yes.
We're
You
not.
keep
not
on
deep.
down the hallway, past more and more of these burial niches. And as you travel, the bodies become further desecrated. These burials here seem to have been newer, with many of them having been ripped down and the floor around strewn with wrappings, blood, and errant bits of gory bone, where the ghouls have feasted upon the druids and interred here. For the last couple of steps, you would reach this final corner and see a few things, largely all at once. First, that ghoul definitely died from persistent damage pretty much immediately after he got around the corner. Second, there's another large chamber on the right here. An old Triton, standing tall with a grim expression, his brow furrowed, dark eyes, pursed lips, and a face of disapproval almost, with a huge, imposing beard traveling down below his waist. His one hand grips an enormous metal trident, clashing with the marble stone of the statue itself. His other holding another of these illuminated iron braziers, casting a much brighter light throughout the room. This room is an absolute travesty. Gore, limbs, blood, carpeting the floor, as the ghouls have ripped down near everything in this back chamber. Limbs are scattered all throughout, occasionally with gobbets of flesh still clinging to the bones. It looks like the site of a massacre. Inside, you can immediately see as you hit this corner more of the ghouls, but one hiding behind the statue looks a bit different. He has what appears to be a pair of jawbones strapped onto the side of his face, almost like ornaments, with a bow in his hand. They all stand ready, waiting for whoever would approach. As we hit this corner, it is certainly initiative.
Initiative!
Any who would approach. Oh, hey, that's us.
Hey, that's us! Hey, that's me!
Pick me, pick me!
Don't pick me.
Slowly, though, because I'm very slow at reacting.
I turn around and just walk away. I do not approach. I unapproach.
A deep
No!
approach.
You got this, lizard.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just wait for all of them to go first, and then I'll go.
No, right into your trap.
This time, we are the ones who
Fate.
tricked you.
This up here. Oh, that's. Oh, you don't like to see that. Oh, nope.
Hey, that's
Oh,
what I was saying,
boy.
man. I'm just waiting for them to all go first.
Don't like that initiative table. Immediately, the one with the bow, a grin crossing his face. And as his lips purse back to reveal this massive smile and rows of sharp, pointed teeth, you can clearly tell he is different from the rest of the ghouls. The rest of the ghouls may be a little deformed, some longer claws, some slightly jagged maws, but they're mostly human. This one is warped much further. and he is just going to let loose a trio of arrows down the hallway towards Lizardman. And is that still within a range increment? Oh yeah, 60 feet is a long ways, it turns out. So the first shot is going to be a 27.
That hits.
The second shot is going to be a 9 on the Feast and Famine.
That misses.
That goes completely wide. The third shot is going to the second two completely wildly miss. He seems to get overexcited, loosing these arrows much faster than he can really control. The first one striking true. The ones behind almost literally, not even like making it down the hallway towards Lizardman. But the first one's going to strike you for 7 damage. A powerful and accurate shot. And that will bring us to Selwyn.
Oh, did they not move?
You win the tie.
Oh, there was another one in front of me, right?
Yeah, there was, I think, another one.
Ah.
26.
You're up.
Oh, he wants you to go in. I see
Nah, I'm
what's
holding.
going on. What are you doing? Waiting?
I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
So the ghoul, further in the room, kind of hiding behind the statue, next to this much more warped undead, nods fervently. Excellent shots, Chal! Before surging forwards towards Lizardman, just heedlessly over the body of his fallen ally. 0 fucks given to come in to bite you. He rushes forward. It's going to be a 27.
He also hits.
You guys are legends at just rolling 18s and nothing else ever. Following it
think
up
you
with a
rolled
claw swipe for a 20 even.
Okay.
This is a 20 hit?
Oh, I thought you'd say that I took the 20 damage.
No. This is a ghoul. If he hits you for 20 damage, leave. No, there's 20 on the claw swing. I was just going to roll them both and then do damage.
No. The first one hits, the second one, almost, and he also stubs his fingers into my shield. Shields are very weird, precarious things.
Oh, do you have your shield raised? Oh, okay. All right, you were raising shield as your exploration activity. So the bite is going to hit you for 7, and I need a fortitude save.
Okay. That's 7.
He'll fail one eventually.
I will probably fail one eventually. That is how.
Don't fail one eventually.
20,
It's clear talk.
Not today. Or
Not today.
At this particular moment.
Ara.
I would like to take my turn.
Oh, go ahead. Let me,
I wanna. Do I see these arrows flying
you
wide?
definitely see one arrow thud into Lizardman, one fly by, and hear one clatter further up the hallway.
All right, I would like to grab one of them with my mind and shoot it at this dude. Unless I can hit him in melee range from here. Can I?
You can. It's a corner. I usually play as neutral cover, so +2. But you
Alright,
can
that's
definitely hit
fine.
him.
In that case, yeah, I just Twin Fate normally.
I usually do corners and 90-degree corners and doors are just covered both ways.
Right, that's fine. On the first hit, a 20
20 will absolutely hit.
for 7 as I swing this sword around the corner, like, and then
Good
I'll
solid
try
hook.
coming in from down low, really proper nail him with the follow-up sneak for a 10. So
Too low.
Not
Too
great.
low.
Too low. Basically hit the floor.
Yeah, 10 is not going to do it. Did you move? No, there's one action left.
Oh right, yeah. And then I'll shake my fist at him from around the corner, and that'll be my intimidate
Why?
for 27.
Oh, very intimidating shaking
That
of
is
the
a
fist.
very
He's
intimidating
terrified. Yep. Very, very scared. Ara.
I hate hallways. I
They're a
literally.
difficult place to stage an encounter. Or stage
They
an
are very.
assault, rather. Very defensible.
I'm trying to think. Ara is using his big brain powers here. He has the biggest brain in the party. Shoot, I don't even know what the next room looks like. I can't
In
even
6
see
seconds,
that.
what do you do as
Go
this fight
for
breaks out?
it!
You
Yeah,
can't really
I'm
see what's
just-
happening, but what do you...
Yeah.
You want to hold?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold.
Alrighty. Arabus, then.
See lizards engaging with more beasts and the situation that we're in. I'm going to roll back to like on all fours almost and sort of snarl and then howl, literally howl. But as the howl it progresses, it sounds more and more like a real wolf as I turn into one that looks very similar to Masako.
Ooh. Okay.
Wild shape. Canine wolf.
I don't have a token for that.
It's all right.
But,
it's okay.
That's
Never
fine.
mind.
Just imagine in your head stream that Arbus is a dog now.
And that's 2 to do that, huh? So then I can.
I believe you have 1 action left, right?
You. Skitter over to here.
Just run down to the far end of the hallway. Lizard man! The time has come.
Okay, I am going to swipe at this guy in front of me, just try and get him off of me.
Okay.
With a 29.
29 is gonna critically hit. This is high rollers today.
I guess
The
30
killing
because
machine.
I still have my little leaf on, or whatever it is. So I get an extra. How
No,
long
that
does that
only
last?
lasts 1 minute. And you did some searching, read RAing and stuff in the other room. It wasn't an
right.
immediate chase.
Okay. So that would be 12 damage.
And I mean 12 still will absolutely do it though.
Oh, perfect. And then I am
We're going to Vegas after the stream's over.
And then I'm going to sudden charge. I guess move and hit, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
You gotta go
Yeah,
around a statue, but yeah.
Perfect. So sudden charge. I mean, I could leap onto the statue, but I couldn't hit then.
Yeah, you'd be pretty high up.
I mean, is
So
that a
as you
problem?
rush in, an overwhelming stench of death and decay hits you over the 20 feet as you move in, just barreling into the gore that is this chamber. And as you get closer to Chial, it gets unimaginably, exponentially worse. Make me a fortitude save.
Okay. I also have a +1 to inhaled threats, so
This is inhaled, so you will get that.
okay, so 20.
With a 20, yeah, your resistance to inhaled dangers lets you stave it off.
And then I'm going to swing at this hooligan with this stupid little bow. Who uses bows? So that minus what it's agile
-4.
-4. So yeah, so 21.
21 will hit.
So I hit him for it. I try and rake down, trying to pull him off the statue, and I just end up raking down his leg for 9 damage.
He's not on the statue, he's just behind it.
Okay, well then
He's
I
using
just
it for
rake
cover.
down
He
him.
was using it for cover until you just ran around it.
Yeah.
So this other ghoul here is now going to step in.
I'm
And-
gonna take my turn.
All right, so his initiative is higher than yours, and you're both holding, so you're going to step in, him, then you.
Okay.
So he'll step in and move up towards you. This is sound. Stay back from Chal! Unworthy! And try to bite you. And he is going to 26. And then you're flat-footed because you're flanked.
Right. So that hits but does not crit.
Alrighty, so this bite is going to do 5 damage. And I need a fortitude save. It's gonna eventually the cumulative paralysis building up in
please
your
don't.
muscles.
13. But I have a session reroll, so there's none of this nonsense.
No!
Oh, to another
Another
13.
Yes!
Oh, that's bullshit.
Time to pull out the hero points.
And as it
good.
finally
Alright.
starts to overpower you, you all see Lizard Man lock up, paralyzed in combat with Chal in the school. Before he is going to swipe one further time with a claw. 13 is just gonna grate across your scale mill. And now Ara.
So 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna finally see this room for the first time ever. And then I'm gonna just produce flame on the one I guess who's using the statue as cover.
Yes.
gonna come screaming around the corner with fire on my trail. I've seen an opportunity. Will a 26 hit
A 26 will absolutely hit. Yes, yeah.
for 10 fire damage?
All right. And as that blast hits him around the statue, he's gonna recoil a bit in pain. But seeing Lizard Man frozen, it's just gonna cackle as he runs off down the room, barreling towards Aura. And as he approaches, he draws one bolt out from his quiver and looses it almost on the run into you as you're in front of him. You don't have a nose. Do you have a sense of smell?
We went over this in the boar fight. No, I don't.
You are immune to this too. All right. And it's also a natural 1 on the bow shot. So he's running forward, shoots an arrow wide overhead that you go see
Arya
sailing
is
down the
real,
hall.
Real tank.
I
the
wave
real
at him.
tank of the group.
And then leans down to the ghoul that had died in front of him and rips into it. A massive chunk that he gulps down in seconds. And you can see him immediately revitalized as he consumes his fallen ally. So,
None of that here.
That's fucked up.
It's a circle line.
I am going to move to here, and this time I will use one of his arrows against him.
it totals him, the mega whiff. So, return to sender.
Yep.
Turn.
Enjoy. 27.
27's not going to critically hit, but it is going to hit.
All I
He's
want.
much more agile than the other ghouls.
For 7 damage.
More needed with it. All right, Arvis.
well-
Oh, wait, you have an action left. I thought you moved there. My bad.
No, I moved. I moved.
Okay. Arvis. The wolf.
The wolf. Oh man. Can I get beyond this man? Like, how would I get past him?
Past Ara, you can just.
Well, I
squeeze.
mean, the hallway is kind of a choke point, but can I get past? I have 40 feet move speed. As
You
a
have
wolf.
2 options for getting past Chial. You can either try to bodily push him out of the way, or you can try to acrobatically slip past him.
Okay. All right, I want to come running down the hall as the wolf and just push him back.
All right.
Just
And
full
so
sprint.
you
Boom, in the
just charge
chest.
in, slam into him. Give me an athletics check.
Okay, so that is 11, I think. Yes. 9. All right.
Gotta find, never used this button. Wow.
For a 26.
A 26 will succeed and will push him back into the chamber 5 feet into the opening, leaving enough space that you could slide past him. But as you slam into him, you have the opposite because you have scent right now.
Yeah.
This overwhelming smell is devastating. I need you to make me a fortitude save at a -2. Enhanced senses turning against their user.
What's it? -2. So 20.
But still, with a 20, your rage centers you here, and possibly your protective instincts, seeing Lizard Man frozen, paralyzed in the center of the room.
This move was the push in action, so I have 1 action left.
Yes, you have 1 action left.
I'm gonna bite him.
All right, and it's gonna be the push has the attack trait, so this is at the -5.
Okay, so it's -5 on this then.
Yeah, I'm assuming the bite's not agile. Bites generally aren't agile.
No, I don't think it is.
So yeah, -5.
For 16.
16, as you shove him back, you will be able to scrabble out of the way of. Lizard man, paralyzed.
Oh, he didn't take it?
No,
Okay.
16's not gonna do it.
Okay. So I just roll a fortitude save?
Yeah, at the end of your turn, you would get a fortitude save to overcome.
I don't
it.
have anything really mental I can do.
You could just think
I'm not
very
really a
angrily.
whole
You
mental
can,
type.
You can be upsetty. I really got to set a voice meter to like triple your volume.
18?
18 will do it. You shake it off at the end of the turn. You free yourself. But this ghoul right here, gonna do his best to put you right back in it. As he bites again
No.
with a natural 20.
Oh my god.
And as you are locked and just starting to recover, he savages you for 14 damage. I need a
Okay.
fortitude save.
Okay, fortitude save. Oh, 15.
15 is the DC, so you are just barely not paralyzed.
That's minus 14, was it?
14, yeah, was the bite.
14, okay.
As he sweeps a claw at you for a 13, it's gonna be largely harmless before leaping up into the corner. Again, quick and agile and too fast for you to really punish. Ara.
Seeing Lizard Man take lots of cuts, bites, and bruises, I'm gonna use my last spell slot to cast a first level heal on him. Saving that last little bit just for you, Lizard.
I appreciate it.
This last bit of energy flowing into Lizard Man, as it really is a battle of attrition as these ghouls slowly pick away at him.
For 13.
13 health
Very nice.
restored.
Pretty good.
This
Pretty
is
good.
one action.
And I look at the ghoul directly in front of me, Charles, and I'm gonna pull a trick out of Cell One's book here. I'm going to try to intimidate him.
Chell? The
So-
one with the bow?
Yeah, the one with the bow. Yeah, the one directly in front of me.
Okay.
So we're gonna try. Comes off more like a child's taunt.
He is
Not
having
a boo-boo.
fun here. Even with the damage he's taking, the grin on his face is massive, only exacerbated by the pair of jawbones he has strapped to the side of his face, almost giving him the appearance of a grin going all the way back past his ears as he continues to just cackle, leaping around, loosing shots from his bow. And he is going to hop over into this corner, springing away from the hallway before firing another pair of shots up to Lizard Man. Though, he seems to be possibly having too much fun. It's gonna be a 14 to hit,
That flies wide.
and then a 10 to hit, which is
Super
just
flies wide.
just glances off the statue as he continues to just giggle maniacally, springing throughout the gore and the viscera in this room, launching these arrows and flipping up sprays of almost half-dried, sticky, pooling blood as he leaps. Selwyn.
That's me. Well, it's time to move into this chamber proper.
The enthusiasm.
Here. Uh-oh. He is not as far away as I would have liked. This chamber is not
Oh,
as
no.
big as I would have liked.
Oh no.
Why would I have to pay for my own mistakes?
So, what's your speed?
30.
It's going to take you, every square in here is difficult terrain. Either from picking through dead bodies strewn about or pushing past the large wolf form of Arbus. It's going to take you 2 strides to get into the room.
Really?
Yeah. It's a 10,
He's like,
20,
yeah.
30, 35.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's
In
double.
which case, I'll. Wait. What did I do here? That is a problem. Well, I'm gonna hop to here and go into defensive posture, I guess.
Arvis. Someone's in. Oh no, he's very close. It turns and runs the other direction.
I'm gonna skitter up here, right by Lizard Man, almost in front of him, and then get down on all fours and sort of growl in the direction of this guy that I'm going to try to bite again.
All right.
With my wolf jaws. That was a weird noise. That's a 19 to hit.
A 19 will hit. Quick maths. How much damage does it do? Oh, no, not quick maths. He's ready. Oh, wow.
14 piercing damage.
He does 2d8?
Yeah, for a bite.
Wow. That's pretty meaty.
All the animal
right.
forms are really good.
One action left. What a chomp.
I'm gonna try to bite him again.
All right, -5. Another bite like that, you just rip them apart.
For a natural 20. For a 24.
That critically hits. Defensive posture confirmed.
So it's just double, I imagine?
Then you can roll 2d8 plus 1 and double it, which is technically rules is written how it works, but if you want to roll 4d8 plus 2, go nuts.
That's what I'll do.
You double it.
That's garbage for 10.
Wow. For about 2/3 the damage of the non-crit.
Wow.
I like how you roll it.
Feels bad. But as you bite into him with this follow-up, what felt like a perfect fatal blow just doesn't do it. Lizard Man.
I'm going to try and finish this guy off. I will step forward and try and finish him off. That's exactly what I'm going to try to do. 27.
27 will hit.
For 9 damage.
And with 9 damage, what do you do to him?
I take his stupid bow. I take it away. Just smack him across the head with it. Stupid bow. Who uses bows?
The ends of his bow have massive, what appear to be ornamental fangs sticking out
perfect.
along the arms. As you pull it out and just swing it out of the fangs, just stick into the side of his throat. And as he dies, it just sinks down. This cackling slowly turns to gurgling. The smile never leaves his face. Just locked in this permanent grin as he sinks down to his knees.
Rest in peace, Kyle.
And then I'll raise my shield ready for the other.
Kyle.
There's still one more left. He's in a corner. Not a good time for Mr. Ghoul today. But he's gonna do his best. He's gonna leap back into battle towards you, just hissing out, "No! Chal!" and try to bite you. And in his fervor, it's gonna be a 17.
Nope. Definitely not gonna hit.
Follow-up swipe, a 19. Also deflected away by your shield as you hold him off, now incensed, not fighting really intelligently so much as ravaging forward. And he's not really strong enough to get away with that. Ara.
I'm gonna move up. My actions are a little bit slower now. And even my incantations for the same spell that I've been slinging this entire time seem a little bit more slurred and harder to get off. I'm going to produce flame at him. For a 26.
So you say slower, but your dice say critical hit, so...
Wow.
Oh, it's 12 damage.
So 24? It's absolutely a one-shot. What happens to this last ghoul here, Colby?
It almost seems as if I draw up all the residual energy from all the magic I have left in me, push it forward, and like before, it's just a small, slow little bead It hits him, but instead of exploding, it just catches him on fire and then just kind of draws back into a point and then makes a little explosion.
Cool.
And then I fall over.
Zara just drops on the ground there, flopping
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you Logan.
as he drops into the pools of just
there it
sticky
goes.
blood on the ground. The chamber falls, finally, largely silent, save for the gentle flickering of fire from the brazier in the hand of this figure.
So you're like a secret wolf, and he's like a secret deer, and I'm a lizard, but all the time. Selwyn, are you like some kind of animal or something? Is this like
Zeg's a
the
secret
party?
monkey.
It's Zig's a
Yes,
secret
Liz. I'm a secret legend.
As I run I'm just running around the room like a crazy person back to, did a complete circle like a dog would in the room. Run right back to where I was. I'll sit down. And Arbus is back underneath.
That was super cool, August. I like this. Are you like brothers with your wolf, or like not relation?
No, I can tune into a variety of things.
Oh. Can you talk to the other wolf while you are a wolf?
I never actually tried.
Seems like something that would be interesting.
I
And I would, as I would be standing next to this still grinning like corpse on the ground, I'd just take my heel and just crush its face in.
Lizard's so violent. He's so violent.
You don't want to look at the face
He
anymore.
had it coming.
Yeah, I didn't like his face at all.
You'd be able to easily
Take that, Kyle.
just crush its brittle, undead skull beneath your foot. Smile finally gone. And really, it doesn't even make the room any worse, because it was already a sea of gore and giblets.
Yeah, it smells terrible in here. God.
As Chiol dies, the worst of the smell does start to fade almost immediately, as it was emanating from him. Only left with the just general aura of death. Still very strong and exceedingly unpleasant hanging over the room, but certainly nothing that would have any major effects upon any of you.
Well, I guess we could go. Well, I guess we could look through this place a little bit more, but we could just go back to that place and sleep a little bit. You know, this is quite exhausting.
Ara's still just face planted in the blood. Just
Yeah, I should probably pick up. Alright, plant. Here, plant. Pick up the plant. It's still like dripping. I'll shake it a little bit.
well, it's mostly like there is some fresh blood across this. It's mostly gore that has congealed somewhat from being left down here since the ghouls feasted on the bodies interred here. And around this room, nearly every niche is empty. The wrappings strewn throughout the room as the bones and bits of flesh and blood.
I'll wipe the plant on my shirt, kind of shake it.
Just on the back of his head and just wipe them off.
So this guy is kind of out. He's a bit exhausted. Do you guys want to like continue down here? Cause this is like, it's exhausting, I would say. There's a bed upstairs. It's pretty nice.
As Arbus and Selwyn look towards
Absolutely.
Lizard Man, you can see a couple of things now that the battle has settled, placed around the feet of the statue in the center of the room. What looks like a cache of trinkets and treasures that have been brought together. A few pieces of jewelry, some silver coins, what looks like a coral statuette of a dolphin, as well as a single bright crossbow bolt with a gleaming head, wrapped in a very fine, very neatly drawn twine. In addition, up in the northeastern corner of the room is what almost looks less like a door than just a massive stone slab, 5 feet across and easily 10 feet tall, flat, set into the wall. An odd space where no niches had been set.
Well, pick up the scroll, I guess.
Roll.
Well,
No,
I was
the thing
like,
that
scroll?
tied-
Scroll? Scroll?
No, the thing that was tied. I would just go look, see if any of it.
Well, looking at the stuff scattered around the statue, there's about probably 20 silver pieces total. A necklace of silver with jade set into it. And that coral dolphin statue, which as you kneel down appears to have tiny glimmering emeralds for eyes, set next to the single crossbow bolt, laying on the right foot of the statue, just across the toes.
So is this like religious stuff and stuff? Should we leave this here or be smitten or whatever?
I have no desire for these things, do you?
I'm not really a dolphin person.
Is Ara going to wake up? Or is he
Nah, he's probably dead forever.
he doesn't look injured.
And yeah, he would be the only one who is completely unharmed of the group. He has taken 0 points of damage today.
I took 8.
Oh, wait, from what?
The worm,
All right, the worm bit you once.
and then I
It
healed
didn't bite you,
everyone.
it just kind of backhanded you with its face.
Yeah.
I just keep holding. I just have it over my shoulder. Sack of potatoes. Well, I mean, unless we feel like taking anything out of here, I don't know. I feel like
What do you think, Selwyn? You are very good at determining the value of things.
I have no idea.
Thank you for
very
your
useful.
insights,
We may-
Welcome.
Is that like you have no idea? Like,
What roll would I make?
I mean, it's not really a praise anymore. So, I guess society.
All right. In which case,
Go ahead and use that as a praise. It's never mattered too much to you what something is actually worth, just how much you can get for
24.
it. And with the 24, you feel like a pretty good amount from these. The necklace, being silver and jade, is both well made and made of precious metals and, well, semi-precious gemstones. You could probably get 15 gold for that, just face value. Whereas, surprisingly, the emeralds set in the dolphin statue's eyes appear to be real emeralds. That thing's got to be worth at least 40 gold pieces.
Cool. Well, I guess we should take it then, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's not stealing if this place was already ruined. It's.
And of course, there's also the
it's
20 individual
archaeology.
silver coins just kind of heaped around.
It may be considered bad karma.
But I don't understand. I mean, if your god, thunder god
Schmarmer.
person, if he's all about not having material wealth and no metal and stuff, why would all this stuff be here? Like, isn't it disrespectful for
It's
people to leave this stuff here? Maybe we
sacrifice
should
to
take
him.
it as a blessing.
These are technically his now.
Yeah,
They're
but he
technically
doesn't
ours now.
He doesn't like metal stuff. I mean, it would really. I mean, I could bring him a dead tree. I could bring him a dead tree that I didn't kill, and it would fertilize the ground down here. It would probably be way better than metal stuff.
I am
Be
going
down
to
here.
walk away from Lizard and just go over to the wall and start looking at the thing.
I'm already pocketing all the earrings and stuff.
And Selwyn, as you look at these bits of jewelry, you can see occasional bloody smears across them where they've been handled by gory hands.
Second hand, rarely used.
That's really good.
Near mint, I think is the word we go with.
Almost mint, yeah.
I'm gonna label this refurbished. Actually,
Oh man.
Arvis, as you head over to this just stone slab that does visibly break the wall here, it looks almost as if a door. It's clearly a separate piece of stone set into the wall, just flat, perfectly rectangular, with no visible way to open or move it, no clear handle of any kind.
Is it a push?
I can close my eyes and just run my hands along the edge, see if I could feel any air coming through. Is there?
Well, down here in the crypt, the air is near motionless, still as death, and this door is no exception. The seam at the edge of it seems to be very fine, near perfect, in fact. Possibly even sealed, but you feel nothing along the edge of the door as you feel along it.
Are you pushing, or is you just feeling?
I was just feeling. Would you like to push?
It seemed to work really well with the other doors.
Just mentioning this corner, since there aren't any niches here, the corpses didn't really get strewn quite this far, and other than the errant half of a foot tucked up in the corner above you. The floor here is not a pool of sticky, matted blood like it is throughout the rest of the room. It didn't quite reach this far because there weren't any corpses to pull down and savage literally in place.
Are there, like, skid marks on the floor where the door would open? Or is that
No.
just stylistic choices of a slab of wood in the side of the wall?
Well, the slab is stone. It's also stone.
Stone. Much stone. Okay, lots of stone. Great. I'm gonna try and push it.
As you walk up, you push on the door. Nothing happens.
No, like, wriggling, nothing? It doesn't move
No
at
motion whatsoever. Now, this is a pretty hefty slab of stone.
Maybe it's a pool door without a handle. So I will reach my claws into the side and give it a good yank.
You can just barely get the tips of your claws, if they're particularly sharp, into the seams to try and pull on the thing. And scraping at the edges of it doesn't really seem to pull it out either.
So I figure this is not a door and it's actually just part of the wall. So...
It was up so quickly.
I'm investigating the statue, looking for possible switches, buttons.
All right, so you're gonna be seeking.
Yeah.
Who all is seeking right now? Arbus and Selwyn are the seekers.
Yeah.
Lizard Man is you still shield raised, just in case. Someone's been hiding actually.
If we're looking for someone, I guess we could also something. I could also look in a general direction for something.
Right.
I have no idea what we're looking for.
Arbus and Lizard Man, go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Okay. 15. Also have no idea what we're looking for. 14.
14.
Neither of us know.
So two of you look up and down the marble statue. It's of decently fine make, and the size of it means that it would be relatively difficult to have gotten the thing down here. The statue in its current form certainly would not have fit through the narrow hallways of the crypts you've worked your way through to get this far. But you don't turn up any kind of hidden switches or secret levers concealed within. Nothing.
Dog.
Nor does the door seem to yield any secrets to you.
Nothing. Well, I guess we looked. Okay, we conquered. Good job, people. I guess we should go back to sleep.
I think we should. Can I detect auras? Can I pick up any magical auras in the room?
Magical R is over here.
Well, he's unconscious still, so I have to do this.
So with your read aura, you have to ping it on individual items. It's not yours isn't detect, or do you have both?
I just have aura. He has.
Yeah, read aura draws the aura out of a single individual item. So you can't be like room. You have to hone it on single bits of things to try and find anything of value. The first things, of course, you would want to look at are the jewelry and the dolphin statue, neither of which register as magical at all. However, with a faint black aura of conjuration, the lone crossbow bolt laying at the statue's feet is in fact magical, as is again the brazier with its evocation. And with a powerful blue shine, a glow that will be visible to everyone, As Artemis casts her cantrip on this massive slab, the door glows with a strong color of abjuration.
Door is possibly magical switched.
So, like, are you supposed to put the arrow on the door, or like put the dolphin on the arrow on the door, or like put the coins on the dolphin on the
As
arrow
you
on the door?
continue using your cantrip to see if there's anything else of interest, checking the statue itself, which appears to be non-magical, mundane marble, you almost miss that the trident it bears in its hands does have an orange shimmer of transmutation. That is a separate piece and is enchanted.
Does it move if I push it or pull it?
As you grab it, it would take you a bit of effort, but you would be able to rotate it in his hand. In fact, the hand seems to just be sculpted around it as a slot with a trident simply set in. You can draw the trident out entirely. And it's not a massively oversized trident. It's long, more of a spear, given its size than a proper one-handed short-range trident. But still, perfectly wieldable. Mechanically, it would be a trident that requires two hands to wield and has the reach trait but loses the thrown trait. It's a reachy thing.
A lizard.
Yeah.
Do you know why that's a good weapon?
Because you could also use it to collect hay from a field.
Because it's tried and true.
Did it. He did
I've
it, folks.
taken mental damage.
And R
I
wakes
saw
up with
the
that.
headlights coming, but there was nothing I could do.
Yeah, he tried to stop it, but
And with that, Ara wakes up.
Oh, hey, Ara. Have a nice sleep.
Haven't been left on the ground in the blood as Lizard Man went to investigate, or was he still over your shoulder the whole time?
He's over my shoulder. He's
Okay, so you wake up on Lizard Man's shoulder.
What'd I miss? That was a good little nap.
Great jokes.
We're trying to get through this door, and it's stone, and there's not a door handle.
Did you knock?
I did not knock. Oh, you genius. I knock at the door.
As Lizard Man approaches and knocks upon the door.
I don't knock like that.
he knocks like,
Like,
Upon the door.
Open up!
police!
The magic activates and the door opens seemingly of its own will. It doesn't. Nothing happens. A
I was
pounding
gonna say,
echoes throughout the chamber as he beats on the stone fruitlessly.
bamboozled.
Aro, do you want to try something fun? You're small, you can climb. Grab that bolt and put it in his hand for me. Where I took the trident out.
So the handle of the trident is definitely a lot bigger around than a bolt. But,
It's worth a shot.
I don't know what's going on, but okay.
do you ever know what's going on?
No,
I mean, around here with us, nobody ever knows what's going on.
I grabbed the
I usually
bolt
know what's going on.
and try to slot it into his hand where the trident was.
you grab the bolt and just put it up into his open hand, and it just drops through it onto
Yeah.
the ground. That hole is way bigger than the bolt.
Is that what you
What
wanted,
if-
Arden?
I slightly misjudged the size. I'm sorry.
So, what are we trying to do here?
We want to
Let's
open the
open
door.
I'm gonna put the dolphin and put the nose of the dolphin in his hand.
So why you go to the
That's
statue?
about the same size.
Why go to the statue? The dolphin statue is actually probably a little bigger around than the handle of the trident. So you wouldn't be
The
able to
nose will
reach
fit.
up and just stick the snout of the dolphin up into the statue's hand. It sits. The Lizard Man just kind of looking at it. Nothing happens.
Can I? It's not possible to identify the door, the magic on the door, is it?
You give it 10 minutes, you can try.
Can I just sit in front of the door and do
We
that?
know the aura, we just don't know what
So
type
Ara's
of...
gonna sit down and start trying to use his cantrips to figure out what the enchantment is on the door, while the rest of you are sticking dolphins into hands.
Just staring at the door, just waiting for an epiphany. Big
I'm
brain
gonna
moment.
take every object in this room that's not a corpse.
Do you want
stick
this
it in
trident?
this guy's hand.
He was holding the. Maybe you put the
stick-
trident in upside down.
You stick
You
the
try
nose
that.
in, you get the necklace from Selwyn, you put the necklace through his hand and like run it through. Nothing happens. You start putting like random coins through his hand that just drop onto the ground, clattering on the stone below. Artemis has an idea and you're like, oh good. And you try to get the trident upside down into his hand, but it was sitting on the floor in his hand, so you can't get it straight up under to get the handle up into his hand. And as you start to try to force it, you worry you're going to destroy the statue's hand entirely if you force it too hard.
Well, if it takes too much longer, I may just destroy the statue's hand.
Make it athletics
So-
checks to force the trident to get upside down.
No, not yet, not to worry. Let's see here. If I like look under any of the bodies, maybe they're like secret bodies.
What's left of the bodies strewn throughout the room is bones and just odd gobs of flesh clinging to them. Nothing more. Their wrappings
more.
discarded throughout the room like candy wrappers, or the ghouls had opened them up.
And we walked like on every square of this room. If I like went around stomping a whole lot.
Slytherin starts high-knee marching back and forth in a pattern across the room, making sure he's stepped on every bit of stone floor, leaving nothing to chance.
How's it going over there?
I'd say that's probably been about 10
Ara?
minutes at that point as he stomps around. And Ara, what check are you trying to use to identify this?
Nature, it's a 7.
You're able to weave out the aura decently well, irregardless of its apparent strength. The abjuration seems to be twofold, both protecting the door from damage, making it nigh indestructible, but also locking in an enchantment that will cause it to open. The only thing you really get from that is gauze-ridden imagery, heraldry, aphorisms, the wind and the waves. No secret as to how it's done. Or no direct answer, anyway.
Do you have one of the
Arbus, blast lightning at it.
What? I just
Blast, just try it.
Okay. I was
I don't.
don't want to
Well-
shoot the door.
Selwyn, you can blast lightning, right?
Sort of.
Can you blast lightning at the door?
All right, sure. Why?
Just, please. It'll be fun. Yeah. I think.
Okay. You study the door and immediately you want to shoot lightning at it.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good to me. I'll
So-
Electric arc.
Someone loses an electric arc that strikes the door to absolutely no effect whatsoever, leaving
Okay.
no mar upon the stone.
That's exactly what I thought, and I explained everything you told me about the door, like verbatim, and just start to walk off.
So, Orbis, do you have your, like, whatever it is, pendant of Gazra? Do you have, like, one of those on you?
Well, I have things. Yes, I have things that my religious artifacts. Yes.
You have,
But-
like, a symbol?
I have my crown that I was given, but I don't wear it very often.
Does it have the symbol of Gazra on it?
I think so. Yes.
So, are you just leaving? Are you just walking?
Yeah.
off?
Yep.
You got a light on you. You can do that. Where you go, buddy? Feel free to move around.
Let's see. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, I don't have light on me. I cast dancing
Oh.
lights on myself.
Let's not really how dancing lights works, but
Well,
you can cast the dancing light.
Well, you can make it follow you.
Yeah,
Try
you
to
can make
keep
it follow
in
you.
front of you.
Yeah. I mean, it moves pretty fast, too.
Get you a dancing light here.
Yeah. I like dancing lights. They're fun.
Go. So Arabis, as she approaches the door, Azara casts a quick incantation to illuminate the hallways in front of him.
Well, he said the religious imagery and stuff. Could I somehow come up with some religious words and wording perhaps I could say to the door that maybe may be the actual key phrase to open it? Anything pop in my head?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Gosrin religion has like basically any religion has a whole bunch of assorted sayings and aphorisms. And if you're not looking for any in particular, one of the more common ones, it's like almost like a command or an oath by the tide and the tempest. And there is another that's commonly given as almost like a promise or a mantra, calming advice. The storm also passes.
I just put my hands on the door and just start running through those.
You just start saying Gosrin holy quotes at the door.
I'm going to walk up behind her.
While your
and look
hand
at
is
her.
on it.
I'm gonna look at her crown and see where her Gosrin symbol is, and like wherever it is, I'm going to press.
No.
her
I wouldn't
hand.
have. I wouldn't have it out. I would have put it away. I was.
I need a Gosrin symbol. I don't know.
You asked me
anything?
what hand is on the door. That's scary. I thought he said that, but what's?
No, I did not ask that.
Wow! I completely
Are
hallucinated.
you okay? Like, are you all right, buddy?
What are you drinking there, buddy?
This door
Not
is
anymore.
actually driving Shenmue insane in real life.
Thinking I'm still hurting from this.
That's metagaming,
Cinder
buddy.
Fun. Drop my
He's got his
intelligence
hand
by
on the
10
door.
points.
The storm also passes. The winds, by the fury of the winds.
Yeah, it would look
By the time the
pretty.
tempest, stress is getting to him.
And I'd start patting down Arbus, looking for that symbol of.
What are you doing? I'm trying to work
Where's
here.
the symbol of Gosra? Where's that one that we found earlier?
The one I took off of the.
And I'm reaching down your shirt. And
No, hey, watch your hands, Liz. I hand you the one I ripped off the guy earlier.
And I press that to the door. This door's stupid.
As you press into the door, absolutely nothing happens.
Really not liking this door.
So this seems pretty steady stone.
Only Zerg was here. He could knock
I know.
it down.
I guess we could just like throw Zig at it after he's
Why is it
finished
so
with the
big?
bathroom.
What's this way? What is this?
Ara, as you go off on an adventure here, your passageway ends on one end at another roughly hewn area that just looks like they simply stopped mining, but at the other, a perfectly rectangular stone slab
Found it.
set into the western side of the chamber.
Oh,
After you walk out and take 3 left turns through the halls.
I'm gonna.
I knock.
As
Hey,
you touch
Arbus,
the
do you see
symbol of Gosra to the door, you hear emanating from the stone gentle taps.
I've done it. I am a genius.
Lizard man, that was amazing. The Stormlord has blessed you this day.
I knock again.
Yeah, I'll knock back. Knock, 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 knock.
And Ara, as you tap a second time, you hear the door gently knock back.
Okay.
Can you open the door, or are you just gonna knock?
Don't know who is over there.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, if they don't open the door, we'll never find out.
Can I hear anything being said or no?
This door is very thick,
Yeah,
so you'd not
that's
be able
what
to
I
hear
figured.
anything of the voices.
Oh well.
Selwyn, what are you doing while all this is happening?
I'm just pondering my place in the universe and why the fuck I can't figure this out.
I walk over here.
Over the
Walk
far
on a
side,
little-
this passageway also ends, but again, looking like it just stopped being excavated. Rough pick marks visible on the stone.
All right. Well, interesting.
The bodies
this
here
is
again
weird.
are left back intact.
We
You've
did
left
it,
the door
Arbus.
finally.
Maybe it's tired.
We
Maybe
didn't do
made it work
anything.
too
The
much.
door is still not open.
No, it knocked. Obviously, it worked.
That is not enough. It's
How
still
many
blocking
times
my
have you
path.
had a door knock at you?
I am the Stormborn. I demand you open immediately. Yeah.
You can't be no. See, you're being impolite, and the door doesn't like it. This is
I'm
your
getting
attitude that's being the
impatient.
problem.
I walk all the way back over to the door to up here where they're at. I go all the way back to them.
So
Yeah,
you
feels-
journey back around the entryway of the room.
Are-
And Ara comes back in as you continue to deliberate. To see Selwyn standing there looking like she's aged 40 years while you've been gone. You can see the color fading from her as the bleaching begins.
Oh, it's over.
No,
It's over.
no, man.
This is how
Can we-
Selwyn dies.
The door's boring. Can we go somewhere else?
Sure. Yeah. Where were you?
On the other side, somewhere else in the crypt.
What?
I found another door.
Die?
Found another door.
Oh god, not another door.
Not another door.
And,
I don't want to see another door in my life.
There's a few brief moments before the scales fall from Selwyn's eyes. Oh, were you the one who was knocking?
I knocked.
No, I was
Wait.
knocking.
No, I knocked Selwyn. It was
No, I
me.
knocked.
On
and
the
it
other
worked.
side.
But no, he went.
No, we didn't
Can
get
we-
to the other side. We haven't opened the door yet.
Can we go somewhere, please?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Take me anywhere.
We can go
Take
anywhere,
me to
really.
take me to the boneyard.
Let's not go there.
Great, but this.
Just
As
let's.
the group of you deigns to leave this chamber.
I will not be defeated by a door, Selwyn.
This door is
There's
stupid.
nothing to be defeated by. He already went to the other side.
No, he went to another door.
He
No.
said he found another door, though.
Yeah.
There's two doors, Selwyn.
There's plenty of doors down here. They're probably terrible.
Alright, can you do me a favor and show me where
It's this way.
I'll follow
So
her.
the two of you go throughout the crypts.
I get lost.
As,
I'm gonna
do
drag
you wait? Do you
Arvis.
go a different way?
Yes.
I'm gonna drag
he
Arvis
leads
behind me,
you.
and we're gonna follow them. Come here,
Well, I
Arvis.
mean, when he turns right, I'd say this doesn't seem right.
Where are we going, Lizard? We have to get the
Oh,
door open.
we have to follow them there. They said they found
Uh,
another
He
door,
keeps
and maybe
going.
that
Back
door
here.
leads to
He
this
keeps
door.
going, bringing
Alright,
his
stop.
dancing lights with him.
Alright,
Where
stop.
did you guys go?
See.
I got lost. Help! Oh no, I found you.
What are you doing, Lizard? We have to open.
Alright. I'm gonna physically stop him.
You reach up as the dancing lights moves on to physically grab Ara.
Wait, where'd you guys go?
Meanwhile,
It's,
Lizard
far
Man and
enough, buddy.
Arvis are back in the corner here. You would, as you pass this entryway, you would be able to, at the edge of your light, see
Oh,
your
see
light
that.
fades, and then there's a bright illumination at the far end of the hallway where someone's holding on to Ara.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we're
I'm
coming. We're
pulling
coming.
him
We're
back.
coming. Not to worry.
Oh, well, I guess we're. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, that worked out.
Where's the other door?
It's this way.
It's
Okay,
really.
Arvis is this way.
I'm not letting go. I'm not.
Someone's still holding on to you.
Yeah. It's definitely not this way.
All right, the way you want to go is this way.
It definitely is not. We're so far away.
Arvis, meanwhile, heads back into the door.
Wait. Arvis, where'd you go? Arvis!
And as Lizard Man moves up, Arvis is just gone.
Arvis! Oh, Arvis, I found you.
This is why I don't split up in crypts.
Okay, so Arvis, clearly the symbol of Gosra worked.
I'm pulling
So-
this plant with me.
We must have unlocked a certain combination of knocking and putting
Oh no, lights.
the thing onto the door.
Alright, I have no
So-
idea where you just dragged yourself to. You disappeared.
Far
gone.
away. I fell into the abyss.
It's over. He's gone. He's
Oh,
dead.
no.
Yeah, Ara's
now.
actually just gone. He, this token is gone. He is
I
just
was-
gone.
I was holding a plant, and now I'm holding nothing.
So,
Okay,
Here's a new
I'll
token, because I have no idea what happened to you.
as I'm pulling, I'll go up through here where he was before.
yeah.
And I assume you meekly bring the dying lights along, the dancing lights along with you
Dying
Dying
Yeah.
lights to illuminate the
So
area.
I'll put the
as the group
Gosra
of you
symbol up
end up-
and knock.
Here,
Here it is.
as you
Here it
knock,
is, someone.
there's no response.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're such a good guide.
Oh.
And is this the door?
Yeah.
I'll knock on it.
Ah, see?
And it would
Is-
take
if
a
you
minute, but a knock would come back eventually. as you know.
Okay, so the symbol, you had to press it on, and then you have to knock twice, and then you have to put the symbol back on. And then
I'm going to
if you shift sideways and do it again, it'll knock back.
start doing like a little beatboxing thing on the door. It's like
Lizard man, you'd hear a strange rhythm come from the door, lightly.
Arbus, start dancing! Start dancing! This is clearly your moment.
It's not supposed to dance for the magic. I'm very
Why do you
confused.
think there's a beat? Come on, go for it.
Lizard man starts beatboxing along with the taps. Which I
I'll start,
imagine Selwyn pretty briefly gives up on.
briefly, but then I start again with renewed vigor, and I'll make a performance on this wall.
Okay.
And let's see, where's my performance? 25. Really
An
getting a rhythm in there.
intricate, fast, impressive rhythm emanates forth from the stone
This-
door.
Is clearly a sign, Arbus.
Arabis's posture completely changes. She leans up against the statue, crosses her arms. You know you're a fucking idiot, right, Drazik?
Why aren't you dancing? Is this like a show of intimidation to the god? Because I feel like you're gonna lose and probably get smited.
Smote, actually. I know it sounds terrible.
Smoke.
It's okay, Lizard man wouldn't know that.
Yeah, smit.
Idiot.
Schmidt.
I don't understand your reluctance. It seems like this is exactly what we're looking for.
And I'll stop beating the rhythm and go back over.
Gee,
Like,
stop.
really?
It's because you didn't dance. Besides, what's with the Drazik all of a sudden?
Oh,
Is
look.
this you
It's
scolding
the
me?
It's gonna take
Clown.
someone a minute to get there.
What do you mean it's the clown? I've always been a clown.
Defeated by a door.
What do you mean defeated by a door?
This is goddamn disgusting.
What?
Truly and utterly.
All right, great. What's wrong with you? What's up?
I think she's been possessed. I'm going to go at her, and
You won't touch me. Nobody
Okay,
touches
being
the
possessed.
Stormborn.
Going for her right now. Okay, full body tackle.
I mean, you can make an athletics check because it doesn't sound like she's going to let you. But,
Clearly being possessed.
As soon
As
as you
you-
like touch her, she's like feathered. I don't even resist.
Sorry,
oh,
took some
So-
delays there.
you just. She's almost completely limp. Slam her to this bloodied ground. just drops.
What's wrong with you exactly? I look into her eyes. You like some kind of demon? Is this some
Right.
kind of like? Is this what happened to the other druids?
Why are you on top of me?
Well, get your mind out of the gutter. You have explaining to do. I don't understand why you are suddenly so
Moody.
moody.
I was just listening to the beats, Selwyn. I did.
Oh, you
What?
mean this one? I'll start beating the same beat.
I feel like
Can I?
Orbis needs to go to sleep
get
because
top
I feel
down?
like someone's possessing her. Orbis, is someone possessing you? Can you
No
feel
one's.
it?
No.
Are we all just like on? Oh, what is happening to me?
Oh,
Having been seemingly defeated by the
What?
door, and now with
What is-
Selwyn's beat making it clear what had happened. You guys leaving the crypt? You heading back to that bedroom?
Yeah, I think we should.
we gotta
go back
get
to the bedroom.
Cirque out of the bathroom.
Yeah, we'll have to get Zerg out of the bathroom and then go sleep in that nice bed.
As you open the door, you find Zerg unconscious in the bathroom
Also defeated.
with an overwhelming stench, possibly worse than the gore-filled chamber of death you just left. So quickly, you sling an arm over someone's shoulder to haul him back into the bedroom you'd found. The one that may seemingly be somewhat safe. And I suppose it is here that the group of you will rest. And gotten
For
a
the week.
foothold into the hermitage, finding nothing that seems any better, nothing to point to anything but further corruption throughout. And something having happened to Arabis, which I suppose is a mystery that'll be left for a later occasion. A question that we will answer later. But next week,
Yep.
when we return, we will certainly continue searching for the source, or at least any kind of answer as to what has happened here in this hermitage. Chat, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. That's it for us today. We will see you next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We've also got another show that runs on Saturdays alongside this, and another campaign, The Age of Ashes. That one, not on this channel, but happening over on twitch.tv/officialpaizo in my more normal stream time of 2 p.m. Eastern. That one's pretty cool too. And we've also now, and here's a actually super cool thing that we have done, compiled all of the content from both of those shows onto a single YouTube channel. So nobody ever has to try to plumb through Twitch VODs and playlists, which are functional, and that's about as far as it goes ever again. Ain't got a fancy URL yet because the channel isn't 30 days old yet. We'll get there. But not only
We'll
are the
get there.
recaps for the other campaign and all of our highlights there, the full episodes of each session of the Age of Ashes and the Extinction Curse are there, and this one, in fact, will be there in its entirety tomorrow. But for now, it's time for us to end this week's session. Good night, everyone. Next week, more Hermitage. Next week,
Or
more
door.
Hermitage.
More gore.